2, 1, go.
Almost.
Oh, I have an idea for this. Okay, I have an idea for this. So I'm gonna make a beat. Like I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, clap. 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 3, 2, 1.
Sam is clapping like a prick. He's doing it on purpose because he's a prick.
Cheers. And welcome to Teabag, the place where we drink tea and sometimes coffee and talk about video games. Today, we are going to give our hottest, spiciest video game hot takes. And I think we're probably going to start fighting. Probably going to have some mean words for each other. And I think that's a great way to start this freaking podcast, is just fighting. Just all of us fighting over why our takes are terrible and stupid. But first, what we also do is play video games most of the time. So I'm curious, before we get started into our hot takes, what y'all been playing?
Who wants to go first?
A question. I'll go first because I have it fresh in the brain. I haven't really been playing much, but I have been helping my stepmom finish the Mass Effect trilogy. She chose the destroy ending of Mass Effect 3. We had stern words about that because she Googled it and that was everyone's best option. I highly disagree.
That's fucking awful.
Shut up. How dare you? Okay, yeah, just making that. Yeah, that's going in there. And then.
No, I'm agreeing with you. What do you mean? That's awful. The
Oh,
story
it's in
ending
Mass
sucks.
Effect. Okay, good. I was gonna say the other way. Good. And then I've been playing Arc Raiders with my friends. We had some really good funsies. I never thought I'd be an Arc Raiders person. I'm kind of the snob who's like, if it's popular, I'm like, I don't need that. But actually, in this case, I've been having an amazing time. I can see why everyone loves it. And we had some pretty mid games. We were going in. Collecting shit, leaving, didn't really have many people. We got ratted once. And then on the last game before bed, I was like, the bloodthirst is rising. I must murder someone. And then we came up and third-partied some people that were having a firefight and then stole all their stuff. And I think I came out with like 100,000 more in credits than I had when I went in. So, yeah. Good times.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Well, me and the wife have been playing Tomodachi Life, living the dream.
Yep.
We've made a bunch of stuff. We made some of our friends. We've also made a bunch of like video game characters. So we made, just off the top of my head, we made Leon Kennedy. We've made Claire Redfield. We made Cortana. We've made Frank West, Chuck Green, John Marston, and I think Arthur Morgan last night as well. So we're just kind of like adding a bunch of like game characters that we like, as well as like some of our actual friends.
Some of your faves.
Yeah. And then I've fucking hell, what else have I been playing? Dead Rising 3 again. Still not a fan of it. In fact, you know what? I do have a spicy take that I'm going to save for later about that. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I do 100% agree with it, but I'm going to save that for later and bank it. I'm just not really a big fan of Dead Rising 3. I think it severely lacks the charm and the reason why the first two were just so good. I think, yeah, it's just bad in comparison. It really is. But I can see why people like it. I personally don't. I don't think it's good. Besides from that, not really an awful lot else. Oh no, wait, no. I do actually tell a lie. So we're not played it yet, but we're going to start playing Immortals of Avium, the Magic FPS. I don't know anything about it.
Mixed
apart
things
from
I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well, but I just kind of find it a bit interesting how it's a Magic FPS. I've never actually heard of that before. Also, Gina Torres is in it, so that's good.
She is. We love Gina Torres. Yeah, damn. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I actually have it. I just haven't played it because I think I got it when it was on sale. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
I think it's one of those things that never really like got anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see what that's like.
Fascinating. So I have been playing some of the classics. I've been in my classic bag recently because I went to the store. Hold on, I can show you. It's right here.
He's got receipts.
He went to the store.
Into the store.
I got receipts. I have been playing the OG Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation 1.
Yo.
On that big old CRT back there, I've been posted up with my little chair right here. And I've been just acting like
Oh, I
I'm
didn't
back
see
in
the chair.
freaking 2000 something. Yeah, it's a little cramped in here. But it works.
You make it work.
It works. I make it work. So I've been playing that. Picked this up from a local game store like 2 weeks ago or so. I've been picking that up. And it's been kicking my ass. I am terrible at strategy, tactic RPGs like this. Fire Emblem, those kind of games. But I'm trying. I'm learning. I'm trying. The art style is amazing. The music is beautiful. The story's got to get going, but I hear it has a really great story. But let me tell you, this shit's hard. And I get if people want to play the OG, or the new one, the Ivalice Chronicles, the remake that came out, because it does rebalance things. But I'm a masochist. I like playing shit that's hard and then beating my head until I actually get through it. So I've been having a fun time with that.
That's a very
Yes.
thin
Dark Souls.
PS1 case, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen that
This
before.
is just what they look like. Like this is, they're all just
Like a CD case. It's a CD case.
Yeah, they're all just CD cases.
Because these
yeah.
ones are a bit thicker. These ones are a bit
What is
thicker.
that?
That's Spider-Man
Oh.
PS1.
Yeah,
These
those
ones
are
very
PS1
thicker.
cases. Yeah, the UK.
Oh,
ones are
yeah.
always
Is there a
thicker.
difference? I didn't know there
It
was a
Yeah,
looks
difference.
like it,
look at
yeah.
the thickness.
This,
Flip
ours
it,
looks,
flip it,
this
Ashton.
looks
Yeah.
really thicker.
That's probably sturdier than this. These break all the
Well,
time.
I was gonna say I've never seen a PS1
mean-
case so thin. That's very.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
good
not.
news is because this is just a regular CD case, it's easy to replace it when it breaks.
It's
But
true.
yeah, and then America also, I don't know if all of them had them, but the early PS1 games, because this game came out later, had like a long box.
Yes.
It was like
yeah,
tall. I don't have any of those, but yeah. Also,
Damn.
this, I bought this because it's all they had at the game store, but I fucking hate this. The greatest hits with the green,
Oh
it's
yeah,
disgusting.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely gross.
It
One
screams
day,
Xbox
when I
at me.
finish this game, I'm going to switch this in and get the black label. But for now, I'm cool with just like letting this be the copy I actually put in the console and play.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair.
I'm a bit of a collector.
A lot of games did that though. Like I remember having Halo 3 and it was the Classics collection, so it had like this really awful looking border around the
Ugh.
main cover.
And
art.
like Xbox
Hate it.
One, or not Xbox, Xbox Original had like the platinum editions where they were all like silvery on the outside and the bezels
Yeah.
were super big and made the cover art really small. I hate that.
Yeah, my Halo one
Mm-hmm.
has that. I don't love it.
I can't
Yeah.
stand it. I can't stand it.
this is
But-
the better alternative. This right here. Look at that.
Yeah, I bought
That's
that
just the
one
regular one,
later.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
bought that one
better.
later because
That's
my
a
Halo
much
one
better
one.
one.
Love it.
It said the classics and it was white with the thing with Master Chief really small, and I was like, ugh.
Ugh.
Honestly, you can
Ugh.
just go to like a CEX and get Halo 1 for like a pound or £1.50.
Yeah, that's what I did
something like
in
that.
the end.
It's not expensive. Not
Yeah.
expensive.
What I will say is that as a child, I definitely picked up Halo Combat Evolved and went, evolved implies there was something before it. No, they changed the title.
Yeah.
They just
yeah.
they wanted people to understand that it was a combat game, not like
There's future,
I don't know, religious
I think
or
also.
some shit.
Well,
I don't
because
know.
it
Yeah.
takes place in space and like
Yeah.
you're a Spartan super. Like it's evolved from our modern
Yeah,
combat. I
Halo
guess.
just didn't apparently like it wasn't good enough, so they had
There's
to
a
add
lot of
the
like
Combat
religious
Evolved for
connotations
advertising.
to it.
Yeah, so people were like,
Thank
"Oh,
God it
Combat
wasn't Halo
Evolved."
Combat Evolved 2. That would have been a mouthful.
That would have done my head in. Yeah. Well,
Combat
after that point, they were like, we
Evolving.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
Combat Evolved Infinite.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We might
That's
have
Halo,
some
that's Halo, isn't it?
Halo hot takes here coming up. I don't know about you guys, but I
Mm.
have one prepared that we'll get to.
Trigger
But
everyone.
we're gonna start
Interesting.
off. We're gonna get into our hot takes now. And if you are watching this video and you hear a hot take and you disagree with it, feel free to let us know down in the comments, and I will proceed to not read them.
I might. You know, I want
I would
to
read all of
It won't be me.
I want
them.
to get the hate. It's fine. Don't worry. I'll get the hate.
But I did want to ask you guys before we get into our hot takes. Do you want to do anything a little fun, a little special with it, right? Because obviously we're gonna give our hot take, then we're gonna react to it. But I thought maybe to add a little extra little spice on top. What if we also judge it on how hot that take is? Like, is it spicy hot or is it actually ice cold? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
Alright.
like mine are going to be warm, but like for me, they're spicy hot with other people I interact with. But like generally, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Well, Nicole, if you want to go ahead and start us off, give us your first hot take, and we'll judge if it's hot or if it's cold.
Go for it.
This is such a currently relevant one, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mixtape is bad and barely a game.
Oh no.
Here we go.
No.
Here we go. Is
I-
that a hot take?
I don't
That's
want to
the
do
question.
this. Listen,
that
I don't
a
wanna
hot
do
take?
This again.
See, the thing is, I don't know. I have such mixed feelings on it because it's so it's. I feel like there's 50% of people would like agree with me, and then 50% of people wouldn't. And so like the people who wouldn't agree with me might be like, oh yeah, that's like, you know, awful or fucking bad hot take. You know, I don't know. So, but that's my take. So
I think that take is lukewarm at best because
Good.
it's so 50-50. There's enough
Yeah.
people online that parrot that same opinion that I feel like it's a lukewarm take.
I mainly want to fight about it, which is why I brought it up.
No, we'll be here all day.
Well-
Come on. Let's
So
not. Come on. Let's not.
My initial reaction will be I disagree. I understand where the sentiment comes from.
Yeah.
And I think it's very valid for people who play that game and are dissatisfied with the interactivity that is there if they don't get anything from it.
Yeah.
However, I think that the interactivity that is there shouldn't be discounted. And I think that what a lot of people are doing online, because it's the internet, it's Twitter, everything is hyperbolic, everything has to be an extreme, right?
Yeah.
So online, you'll hear people say you can beat the whole game without pressing a button. That's clearly not true. You can't do that. And I think that if you're a person who requires a bit more of like, I guess you would say a fail state, if you require there to be a bit of challenge, if you require there to be some sort of guardrails around you where you're forced to do certain things, or else you cannot, you cannot progress,
Yeah.
then I think it's perfectly valid if you didn't get much out of the experience. But I think there is
me. Yeah.
I think there is value in the simple fact of interactivity, right?
Yes.
I think even though there are sections in that game where you can just the thing starts, you have a shopping cart and you're going down a hill and you're just going, you can theoretically let your hands off the controller and just let it go and it'll do it. I think that is kind of antithetical to how video games are. Like nobody does that. And so I don't think that discounts the value that is there if you do engage with it and play it how it was meant to be played, which is you are interacting with it, you are spinning the cart, you are dodging things, right? Even though you can get through it without doing all that, the value of actually doing it just because it's fun to do it is value, right?
Yeah.
Or the scene where there is there's playing that rock music in the car.
Whether it's like,
And like yeah, and you can like
That's the whole thing.
the one girl is like pressing the lights at the top
Yeah.
and you're headbanging and stuff.
That
You don't
part
have
annoyed
to
me.
do any of that.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's there still has value because my natural inclination when I played the game was to do it because I wanted to hit my head to the beat. I wanted to do moves to the beat, and I found value in doing that interaction, which heightened the experience, which is something that I couldn't do if it was just a movie and there was no option, right?
Yeah.
Having no option, then it would just be a movie. But there is an option, and I found value in the interaction, even if it's not required necessarily.
So my issue with it, so I don't ever, this is the thing with a hot take with me, is that, or any kind of takes that where I differ from other people, is that I don't ever want to invalidate anyone else, but like from my opinion, it's just sitting at a like barely a game, so I really didn't enjoy it. So the thing with me is that I really do love like walking sim type games and like, visual novel type games. So this should have been my cup of tea. This should have been 100% for me, which is why I was willing to give it a go. And I was trying to think about what separated it from like one of my favorite barely interactable games, which is What Remains of Edith Finch. And I was like, how does this compare? And why is it that this game left an impact on me and Mixtape didn't? I think firstly that Mixtape just didn't land properly with me in terms of the story. I didn't really like any of the characters, so I didn't care too much. But also, when you're going through these big emotional plot points that are progressing, right? They're kind of just going without you, and you can interact, and the option is there, and you should. But it kind of felt like I'm not in control of this. It's just kind of happening to me. While what hits me with a lot of other games that I play that I do enjoy that have that kind of style is Edith Finch. When I played it, slight spoilers, a lot of the characters that you're playing as are going through some sort of traumatic experience and then inevitable death. And you have to be the one in control of that. You are the one experiencing that from each character's point of view. And so when you're doing it, you're the one who's in the fish warehouse having to sever the fish heads. You're the one living through the horror nightmare. You're the one who locked themselves in a cave and eventually emerged from the cave. I'm fully in control of that as an experience, and I'm immersed within it, while Mixtape felt more like I was watching a movie. And so I think that's what took me out of it, and why I'm like, oh, the interactions aren't strong enough, and the way that it asks me to contribute isn't strong enough for me to be like, this is a good game. This is a decent visual novel type movie type game, but not a game for me. And that's kind of my separation. So, yeah.
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
So
but
I don't
Sam
really
had
have
his
an
own opinions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it depends what you make of it. It depends
Based on what
about
we've said,
interactivity. Well, here's the thing, because loads of people, I think we talked about this like in our Discord chat and everything, but sorry, I'll get closer to the microphone. Most people had the exact same thing when they were talking about Telltale games as well, because you weren't actually moving around all the time, and there was cutscene after cutscene. Sometimes you go for like 20 minutes and you won't even like press a button, or you've not even wandered around or whatever. But the thing is, you were still making choices, you were still selecting dialogue options, you were still walking around, and then when it got time to actually walk around and do the puzzles, it kind of felt earned, because you had sat through all the character stuff and all the dialogue options, and then you can wander around and do all the puzzles and
who's getting
interact
the
with
chocolate
people.
bar, who's getting
exactly
the food.
But from what I've seen in Mixtape of what I've heard online, and that is very dangerous, listen to what people have to say online, even me and Ashton and all of us right now were still talking about things online and everything. But I think personally it ultimately depends what you make of it. If you're after something that plays like a game, it's not going to be for you. But if you want to actually be immersed in the story, and if you like story games, then it's going to be right up your alley. That being said, it feels like that there is a 90% story and cutscenes and 10% gameplay, which I don't agree with. There needs to be more gameplay. You are picking up a controller or using a mouse and keyboard to interact with it. There should be more interactivity in it. I feel like there should be a nice balance between the two and not focus on one or the other. But that being said, let's say, for example, that you find a game that is 90% gameplay and 10% story. Does that mean that it's a fantastic game, or would there be someone complain that there's no story? Because right now that we've kind of got used to having story in games, and if there's hardly any story in the 90% gameplay, then does that count? I don't know. Like,
Sam's counterpoint is a very good point. I've never like had to sit down and properly do that.
Why is Super Mario Brothers, the original on NES, a game, but Mixtape isn't? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
They both are. This feels like a conversation that we've had 10, 15 years ago, and now this game has revived it for some reason. Yeah. Which is why I'm also gonna stick with this was a lukewarm take.
Yeah,
because it is something that the battle lines were drawn 10 years ago. You are either on one side or you're on the other, and that's kind of where it's at. This is just the next game that's now
say for me,
ask people to pick their side.
In my journey, I never really experienced this level of problem before. This is the first time I've sat here and questioned it, which is kind of weird. I've never questioned it before. Even when I was playing, like when I play these kind of games, I'm always like, yeah, game, whatever, carry on. But this is the first time I've sat there and gone, huh. So hence
now,
why
I will
say, bring it up.
If it like, for example, if it was completely story based, and then let's say every half an hour you press a button to, I don't know, jump, I would think we'd all be in agreement to say that that's not really acceptable. You need to have like some sort of you need to have quite a lot of interactivity with an interactive experience, you know. But I think
that's also the thing of
like, it's like.
Yeah.
That's also the thing of like if you're online and you're hearing opinions about Mixtape that are negative, people are, again, extremes. People are reducing everything down to you're only doing this, you're only doing that, you're pressing a button, you're not pressing a, but in reality, when you're actually in there doing something, that's not what it's, you may be, if you were to boil it down, just pressing the stick forward to move, but when you're in the experience of the game, she's running, she's jumping, she's flying, there's, momentum, there's all sorts of other things. Like, if you play Mario, you're just pressing left or right and clicking one button. Like, that sounds basic and boring as hell, but because of how it's all built around and the obstacles and everything, it feels great, and we accept that. So I don't have a problem if people don't like mixtape because they don't get value out of its interactivity. That's perfectly fine. I have a problem when people say that it's not a video game. I think that's disrespectful to the developers who worked hard to make those interactive parts valuable to people who will enjoy them. And it is a video game whether you like it or not. I don't care if you like it or don't like it, right? It's just the validity of, is it a video game? But
for me and my experience as a gamer, barely. But for other people, they'll get a kick out of it and they'll like it. So I'll let them enjoy
More power
it.
to them.
And that's it.
More power to them.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go with the next hot take, Sam? Do you got
I'll
one?
do
You got
it,
a spicy one?
I've got a spicy one.
Is
Yeah.
it spicy?
Oh,
Is it hot?
I think I've already mentioned it to you two before, but I think that BioShock 1 is the worst BioShock game.
I had the opposite. I have a thing on
Wow.
here. Okay, no, as in like I think we have the same one. Okay, go for it.
Let me explain. Right, okay. So story, world building, everything that it does with Andrew Ryan and with Rapture, perfect. 10 out of 10. Like I got really into it. It made me want to listen to audio logs, which is a massive
Spoilers
feat for a
coming.
game, right?
Yeah.
However, gameplay is awful. The gameplay is not great. You have one gun in one hand, and in order to use your plasmid, you have to switch out to the plasmid, right? BioShock 2 made it a lot more streamlined and a lot more fun to use because you had gun and you had plasmid, right? Because of that restriction, where you have to constantly switch out between both of them, it can make combat feel a little bit strange to me, right? Now, on the flip side of that as well, you've also got all of your vending machines which have all the different health pickups and stuff you can get. And I felt like when I was fighting all the enemies, this is me like remembering it from like 3 years ago when I played it, but I remember when I was fighting all the enemies and there would just be some enemies placed around the corners, like the bullshit turrets and everything like that, where they'd be placed around the corners and they kill you in a couple of shots. I didn't find the gameplay fun at all, and that severely impacted it because by the time that everything did kick off in the story, I was just at the point where I was like, I really don't want to play this anymore. I think later games refined it to the point where it became very, very, very fun. Because you don't remember BioShock 1 for the gameplay, let's be honest. You remember it for the story. You remember it for the world building. You remember it for the twists. But to go back to the mixtape argument, you're playing a game. So you expect there to give the actual gameplay that's there to be fun and to be satisfying to play, which BioShock 1 did not have any satisfaction with its gameplay. 2 refined it. 3 improved it. And I will go on record to say that 3 has the best gameplay in the entire series.
I'm gonna have to do my own. I might have to do my takes as a follow up because it's compounded with Sam's. Okay.
Go for it.
I want to firstly say for Sam's take, I do think that is a hot take because every time I tell someone I love BioShock Infinite more than one, people tell me to like just go die in a hole or something. You know, people are just like, you're wrong, you're stupid and wrong. I disagree in that I think BioShock 2 is the worst one just based on the fact that it's not like it just kind of felt tacked on almost in my opinion. That's just
I
me.
agree with
That's
that.
not my hot take. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think, yeah.
I was just going to say, I kind of feel like the BioShock 2, the story for BioShock 2 was not anywhere on the scale of 1 or
That's
Infinite.
the problem.
And
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is, especially like in this day and age of games that have stories, narrative stories, and the whole reason why you play in the game in the first place to go from one end of the story to the next, you need to make sure the story actually hooks you. Because if it doesn't hook you, if there's nothing interesting in that story, what's the point in continuing to play the game? I've played games before where I found the gameplay frustrating, but the story was great, like Death Stranding, for example. I actually think the story of that's decent. There's a lot of world building with that. Do not like the gameplay whatsoever at all. I found it boring after about the first 10 hours of it. But I persevered with it because I wanted to know what ultimately happens at the end. The same can be said on the flip side. You can have amazing gameplay, but the story is shit. In this case, it's BioShock. It's BioShock.
So I'd say that's a pretty hot take because I've argued with so many people about it and almost no one agrees with me except you. Ashton, do you have an opinion on this?
That is hot. That is definitely a hot take because obviously majority of people I think would say BioShock 1 is the best one, and then I think majority people say Bioshock 2 is the worst one, and then Infinite goes in the middle. We're actually all on
worst?
different spectrums. Nicole, are you saying Infinite's the best one?
So my hot take was Bioshock Infinite is the best Bioshock, and that's my hot take.
My hot take is that 2's the best one. So we're we're all kind of like in different
I think Sam kind of agrees with me. Are you an Infinite
Yes.
boy?
Are you Infinite? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam
Okay.
and I are
Okay.
Infinite people. All right, that's
Okay.
really
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess should I so that's a hot take. So my take is essentially kind of piggybacking off that, where I say Bioshock 1 and 2 are like, I say Bioshock 2 is the worst. Bioshock 1 is just nowhere near as good as Bioshock Infinite. And so I don't know how hot that is, because I feel like I'm in such a weird middle ground. But whenever I argue with people, it's always between 1 and Infinite, and I'm always like, no, 1 is the worst one, Infinite is the best one, and 2 doesn't count. Which is a weird thing. I think that Bioshock Infinite is just so beautiful, and it's so complex. I think that the alternate reality stuff is so much fun, and I love the way that they tried to connect the worlds and like put stuff in Infinite. And make it all kind of work. I think the Burial at Sea DLC really made everything better for me for Bioshock 1. It made me appreciate Bioshock 1 more. People found it annoying the way that it was all connected, but I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I had such a good time being able to relive in Bioshock 1, but as Booker and Elizabeth. So, I just think the Bioshock Infinite took everything that made Bioshock 1 good, and then took that story, and instead of making it more of like a would you kindly plot twist moment, they gave you the emotional twist and made you like the father figure. So it's a real gut punch when you get towards the end and everything goes like all hell breaks loose. And yeah, I just think.
I mean, to be fair, one word, Elizabeth. But
she's
the
incredible.
best. She's the best
best
character.
companion ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her followed by Ashley.
She makes the game.
Yeah, 100%. Looking into her big blue beautiful eyes.
So why do you like Bioshock 2 the best then? Explain that to me.
So I'll clarify. I think for me, Bioshock 2 is my favorite. But if I was looking at it critically, I do think Bioshock 1 is the best. But Bioshock 2 is probably my favorite. And it's exactly what you said, Sam, where it's because of the gameplay. Gameplay in 2 is so much better than in 1. It's so much more replayable. I love how deeper they go into the RPG mechanics. Like, in 1, you kind of have to switch between both the plasmids and your weapons. But in 2, you can go full bore into either of those. Like, they give you the freedom to, if you just want to use guns, you can. If you just want to use plasmids, you can. Like, you have that option. In 1, you don't really. So I really like the RPG style of, like, being able to really choose your build every run. In 2, the story is weaker. And that is what it is. It's forgettable. I can't even tell you what happened in it. I don't remember it very well. But I just think gameplay-wise, it's pretty good. However, Bioshock 1, I think, is the most balanced. It gets the balance quite, like, perfectly right, where it's like 50% gameplay story. Because it does have the great story. But I found the gameplay pretty fun. Because 2's not that, like, it's better. But it's not that far different from 1 that I would say I don't like 1's gameplay. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is, though, unlike you two, I think Infinite is the worst one. And y'all know that. I'm very well documented in that. I think Infinite is the worst one. But I'm actually going to use this to pivot into my first hot take, because it kind of goes in line with my opinion about Infinite.
Do you mind if I say... Sorry, Ashton, do you mind if I just say one last thing about Infinite real quick?
Please.
Go for it.
Because when you said that it's the worst one, I do kind of feel like that there was a lot more that they could have done with Infinite. If you look at all the behind-the-scenes stuff and all the original trailers for it, they wanted to do a lot of stuff. They really did. And it was very overly ambitious. Yeah, it was that, and it was also budget concerns as well. Mm-hmm. I've watched a lot of documentaries about it and all the interviews with Ken Levine, and I think that there was a lot of different plans for it. But ultimately, it just became very scaled back. Like, some of the enemies, for example, like, have you ever seen, like, the Boys of Silence? We were only in, like, 1 or 2 sections, and then that was it.
Section,
yeah, and you kind of think that the way they were talking about them, like, you didn't count them in the world a little bit more. But
fucking glad I didn't. They're
not.
Horrific. I don't like them at all.
No, they are. They're scary, but I feel like they could have been done with, a lot more times that we've seen them. That's what I'm trying to say. But there was a lot of stuff in Infinite that I kind of feel like that.
And that's the
wayside.
Boys of Silence, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
They're an example of where I think Infinite falls off, because Bioshock 1 and 2 are like pseudo horror, Like they're very creepy, they're very scary. You're all alone. It's very desolate. There's crazy people everywhere. Like it's very scary. Infinite's not really scary at all. It's not
Well, I like
like
Infinite.
the Boys of Silence are the only scary part,
Yeah.
and it's the only part that feels like BioShock to me. But
Right.
that's why I want to get to my next
killing
point.
Racists, so that's why I like.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
What's your first take then?
So my first hot take is that games as a whole should stop catering to newbies and casuals. And that's where I think this is kind of talking about Infinite. When I think about Infinite, the number one thing that I think about is gameplay. The reason I don't like it as much is because it took what BioShock 1 and 2 were doing and said, nah, we're not going to do that. The masses, we need to appeal to them. So we're going to make it more action-based. We're going to reduce your options. We're going to make all of the plasmids worse. We're going to make those options worse. We're going to reduce the RPG elements. And we're going to make it just more of an action game, right? And I can't stand that. Like, your options for your builds for Booker DeWitt are extremely limited compared to what you could do with 2. And I don't mind that the tone is different between the two games, because you should be allowed to experiment, right? BioShock doesn't have to always be underwater, creepy, scary, right? But they went so far in the other direction, especially with the gameplay, that I can't stand it, man. I really don't like that. And I think that applies to a lot of stuff nowadays. I think back to Fallout 4, a game that I was super excited for, but then I play it more and it just feels lesser. Like it feels like they took so much stuff
in that game.
They took so much stuff from Fallout 3 and New Vegas and then took it out to replace it with what? The settlement system, I guess, to make it more simplistic. Like I don't want to come off as saying that they're dumbed down, because I was talking to my partner about this the other day, and she helped me a little bit, because that language kind of makes it feel like it feels elitist. It feels like, oh, I'm superior because I want the more complex things and you want the dumber things. It's not that. It's simplistic, and if you like it being more simplistic, that's fine. But too many games nowadays, I feel like, are going for that mass mainstream audience, and you can't put too much stuff in there that you have to use a lot of, you have to like put in the effort to learn how to do these things. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't have time to do that. They don't want to do that. They want to relax, whatever. And I it makes them worse. Fallout 4 is the worst Fallout in my opinion. BioShock Infinite's the worst BioShock in my opinion. There's countless other examples where that's happened, and I'm sick of it.
I've got
I'm
two
gonna
follow-up
be honest with
questions.
you. Go
when
on, you
Sam's
first.
finished.
Oh,
Are you
okay,
sure?
okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, go.
Right, so I was going to say, I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people are actually catching on to that. A lot of people are. I can see it in a number of different franchises. I'll give you an example. Dead Rising, right? So the first one, first Dead Rising, was very challenging. It was extremely challenging. The time limit was very, very, very clutch. You had to really plan out where you were going. You had to make sure you had enough time to get there. Otherwise, you'd have to just pick a new save. I think in the original Xbox 360, you actually only had one save as well. So there was only one save file. You fuck up that save file, that's it. You have to start again from beginning. 2, streamlined that a little bit and made it a bit more forgiving. So you had 3 save files this time, but it still had the timer mechanic. And there's been times where I've been playing both those games where I have run out of time and I've had to start again from an earlier save. But at the same time, they make it challenging. They don't basically turn around and say like, right, here's a boss. If you have the right weapons, yes, you can deal a substantial amount of damage, but it's not just going to say, oh, here's like an easy win. Then the third one comes in, and I'll be honest with you, when I played that for the next video that I'm making on my own channel, I did not die once. I did not die at all. And I was on the hardest difficulty that I could find. And that's concerning. When you go from a really hard, challenging series that had 2 difficult entries to then this one, expecting the same thing and it's different, you can kind of tell it's a little bit like, okay, so what's going on here? Then you find out everything else has been streamlined to make it easier. And then you start asking questions like, well, wait a minute, what's happened here? Why has everything changed? So I get what you mean. I do, but at the same time, I don't think it's a hot take because a lot of people are starting to catch on to that. But I do agree with you. I think a lot of companies now are doing that, and it's fucking frustrating. Stop doing it. It's so irritating. That's it.
I don't I don't have too much of a problem with this in terms of my personal experience. However, a couple of games I have witnessed a little bit of this and spoken to people about this, and I think that it doesn't bother me entirely, but sometimes it does a little bit. So I want to know your opinion on Elden Ring being the access point people used for Souls-like games by From Software, because it's an open world, so you don't have to get through the difficulty boundaries of a boss being like the only way to progress, instead of being able to just fart around and go and level up. And also the Lies of P difficulty slider they now have.
Those are two different.
So
I have two different things for both those. So I'm gonna
Yes.
stick with the Elden Ring one because if I may, I'll go ahead and double up on my hot takes, right? Because I think it's directly related to that Elden Ring one. Okay, if that's okay. So my second hot take is that I think sequels have gotten worse, and across the board in general, sequels have just gotten worse, right?
Yep.
I think that Elden Ring is actually a great example of I mean, it's not really a sequel of anything, but they're using similar mechanics from Dark Souls into Elden Ring, so it's kind of like a spiritual sequel in a kind of a way. It's a great
Yes.
example of a game company taking what they have done before and improving on it to such a degree that it is far superior in every way and can't even be compared, right? When you look at Elden Ring, it feels a lot like Dark Souls 3 in terms of how you roll, how you attack, stuff like that. But when you add in the weapon arts that got so improved in that game, and especially the level design of the open world, oh my god, like nobody, or I wouldn't say nobody, but the big question when Elden Ring was coming out was, how is this going to work in an open world? How are they going to take this really tight, interconnected level design, this brutal design, and make it a big open world, right? How are they going to do that? It's not going to work. And then it comes out, and it's fantastic. They have the same level, a brilliant level design in the open world, and expanded their skill set to encompass this massive area, this huge scope, and created basically the greatest Dark Souls game of all time. It's so radically different from Dark Souls 3 because of that open world that it's just fantastic, right? And that's kind of what I want to see more from sequels. When I look at a game like God of War Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2, right? Or Horizon 2, they're not sequels. They're 1.5. They're minor improvements here and there, and that's
Resident
basically
Evil
it.
3.
Right.
Talk about that.
They're not full sequels. My favorite sequels are when they, and I get it, it kind of goes back to the thing where, like, games are expensive to make. They have to appeal to the mass audiences to make money, especially AAA games. But it does make the experiences worse, because my favorite sequels are the ones that do things radically different. The Elden Rings, the Fallout 2s, right? The Kingdom Hearts 2s, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirths. When you look at all of those games, what do? They take the best parts of the first one, improve upon them, and then do something radically different, right? That's the best. That is how you make a sequel. And for modern day right now, I just feel like with how long games take nowadays to make and how much money goes into them, we're not seeing enough of a jump between the original to the sequel. And that's why I feel like I can say for a lot of people, a lot of big AAA sequels that come out nowadays, we feel kind of underwhelmed.
I can give you the answer to that. Graphics innovation. We've advanced way too much. There is a massive jump between
don't see it
PS4 and PS3 and PS4. The graphics from both of those generations leapt. You look at like Uncharted 3, for example, and then go straight to Uncharted 4. It's fucking insane. The amount of graphic fidelity in that is just huge. But if you go back from, like, say, PS2 to PS3, there is a big jump for graphics.
I don't think that has
right?
anything to do with it. I don't think that has anything to do with
I
it.
think it
Because
does.
my
I think
my
there's some
example
level
of
it.
Fallout 1 to 2, if you look at screenshots of those two games, they're the exact same fucking game because they were made a year apart. They're the exact same looking game. But what makes Fallout 2 better? It's double the length. It's way bigger. There's way more towns, and every single beat of that game is better than the original. There's more RPG mechanics. They're deeper. The builds you can do with your character are more varied. The combat's better. The story's better, and the ways that you can tackle each quest are way more varied than the first game. It is the first game improved by 2 times, which is exactly what it needs to be, even though graphically it looks the exact same. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2. Same thing with Final Fantasy Remake to Rebirth, they look pretty similar to each other, but it's the gameplay, it's the improvements, it's adding on the extra stuff that has made it so much better and feel like a true sequel, a true improvement, and a true leap forward, rather than some of our modern sequels like God of War that just kind of feel like 1.5s. I don't think graphics has anything to do with it for me.
I think Sam has a point in terms of there are some people where graphics is plays a big
is.
part in it. But I think there's a huge sector of the gaming community that thinks like that. But then there's people like us who don't really like care about the graphics as long as like it plays well, and like that's to us is like what's more important. So your point. So what is your hot take here, Ashton? Again,
Sequels are bad.
Sequels have one worse.
Give my opinion on it. Sequels are bad. Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing, right? I think we had an interesting argument like a year and a bit ago about how I said that I don't think certain sequels don't make a big enough leap to earn Game of the Year. For example, the second Breath of the Wild game, which is Tears of the Kingdom. And I said, while it's very cool, it's just Breath of the Wild with some amazing stuff kind of added to it, so it doesn't feel like much of a leap is happening enough for the games industry to recognize that it deserves like Game of the Year. To which you were like, sequels deserve Game of the Year too. And you're not wrong, but I was like, I just don't think that sequels innovate enough. Maybe that's what I was saying. Sequels don't innovate enough nowadays for me to think that they deserve awards. Back in the day, if Mass Effect 1 was nominated for Game of the Year and didn't win, Mass Effect 2 was nominated for Game of the Year and it was there, I'd be like, oh, it deserves the win. It innovated so many
Great
things.
Example.
The quest lines, everything, it's incredible. And so now, oh my God, Ashton, I'm realizing what you meant. So yes, I do think that's quite a hot take, actually, like as in for me personally. I think I agree with that. I think that there's not enough things being done. I think if anything, every time I play a game, like most recently, I've been experiencing Dragon Age again. And I've realized based on the most recent Dragon Age, how much BioWare has deteriorated since the good old days of the late 2000s and the
Have you been going through all of them?
And it breaks my heart. Yeah, I've done Dragon Age 1,
oh my
and
God.
I'm going
The whiplash you're about to get because
I know.
It's like they didn't know what to do with Dragon Age. Like Mass Effect, you can see the progression from 1 to 2 to 3. Dragon Age Origins to 2 to Inquisition is like what the fuck are we doing? These are different genres. Like what
because of popularity. Mass Effect's a much more popular franchise than Dragon Age.
Yeah.
It felt like they tried to like.
Got much more love.
This is like a different point, but it felt like with 2 they tried to market it to mass appeal, which goes back to my first take, and it fell flat on its face because Origins was so much better. Yeah. But yeah.
So I do think this is quite a hot take because I think that it's a really complex question because so many things, especially in the game award space and recognition, it's quite hard to live up to yourself. Like I have so many little things with Silksong that don't work for me that like I think Hollow Knight did so much better and like but it's actually made leaps and bounds of improvements. I'm just not seeing them as much because it's kind of just more of what I've already seen. But like how much can they really do to innovate on perfection? It's very difficult. I don't know, Sam, what do you think? Do you think this is a hot take, a medium take or a cold take?
Medium. I do feel like there is a lot of people out there that
medium
would agree
well
with you. Yes, medium rare. So I do feel like there is a lot of people out there that would probably agree with you. So I would probably say it's a medium take. However, there will probably be a lot of defenders for games like God of War Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2. I will say though, with Spider-Man 2, there is innovations with that. You got the web wings, for example, so that means you can fly across the map instead of just having to just web swing. Everything's a bit faster. Combat has seen improvements because you play as 2 Spider-Men instead of just 1, and you also have different abilities as well. Like Miles has electric powers, and Peter has the arms and the symbiote. So there's different powers and stuff that you can alternate. At its core, though, it is very familiar with what you've already had before. But then again, the same thing could be said like the jump from Halo 1 to 2.
I was going to say, you've got the multiplayer in Halo 2, and you're now playing as the Covenant, so there's so many great things that you're doing.
But it is still...
I don't agree with that at all.
And
I don't
they
agree with
went
that
on,
at all.
there was less
I feel like Halo
innovation.
2 is a huge jump.
Well, I have a spicy hit.
I do think it's a huge... jump. I'll finish this point. I think that the Halos, I think that as time went on, less and less innovation was occurring.
Sure.
So I don't mean necessarily 1 to 2. I mean more like, ODST and Reach were kind of like, especially ODST, they were like, they kind of had to just phone that one in a little bit. I love it so much. It's like it's sometimes my favorite Halo game. So it's like, but yeah. No, I think that's a really good, interesting take, Ashton.
I have a spicy Halo take. I have a lot of spicy Halo takes.
I love a spicy Halo
but I'm looking at like all my Halo stuff on my drawers now, and I'm trying to think about like what would be the most interesting one, the most hottest one. So here it goes. I think Halo Infinite is worse than Halo 5. I think it is borderline one of the worst like experiences that we've had for Halo, and I'll explain why. Right. So I will say out the way, they did the gameplay right, but there is still a lot of the stuff that they could improve on. Equipment like the grapple shot, I think, is great. The actual feeling of the guns is fantastic. But my problem mostly lies with two things. Campaign and the content. Campaign first. The open world stuff, I guess you can really blame development because of how fucking crap it was. But the development of Halo Infinite basically translated it into that we just have a big grassy open world with a story that has nothing interesting to say whatsoever. They set up this massive new threat that's worse than the Forerunners, the Endless, and they do nothing with them. The Flood was a lot more terrifying than they were. You also have everything interesting in the story, such as what happened with Cortana, what happened with the Banished. You have all of that happen off screen. And that is one of the worst things about the entirety of it. That was... Halo 5 story is shit, right? I'm going to say it's awful. It's god-awful. But my thing at the end of that was I'm interested to see what they do to wrap that up, because I want to see how they can do it. They did nothing. They basically gave us an 8 to 10 hour epilogue. That's what they gave us. And I hated it. I think it's obviously one of the worst like Halo campaigns ever. 5 is still awful because of how badly written it is and what it does to the franchise. Making Cortana a villain is just the worst thing in the entire world. Bungie even joked about it back in the day. Secondly, I want to talk about content for a second as well. Infinite had fuck all at launch. It had nothing. It had absolutely nothing. Big team... There was nothing there. They correct me if I'm wrong, someone in comments.
Wait, do you not remember it came out like a month?
It came out. It came out on Halo
Multiplayer?
1's like 20th anniversary, I think it was, and they were like, "Oh, guys, it's all free." I'm like, "Okay, great. Let's see what it is." And yes, people really got involved with it and interested, and people really had a good time playing it. But there was nothing else to do besides from just have a rotation of different maps and different game modes and everything. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they said that they were having problems with the UI and that's why they couldn't add a Slayer playlist into the game. Team Deathmatch, the biggest thing in Halo, that's the main reason why people play it. But there would be some times where you'd just be doing quick play and you get the same map and you get the exact same game mode 3 times in a row. And you couldn't veto, you couldn't choose or anything like that. And then the seasons that they had after that were 6 months apart from each other. How the fuck have you... No, there was no plan whatsoever for it. That I think up until recently they decided to get to about season 5 and then stop completely because it's just too much. I think it is one of the biggest disappointments, one of the biggest tragedies that we've ever had in this franchise, because what they've done is essentially said, we're going back to the old art style, we're going to be setting it on a Halo ring, Master Chief is going to be front and center, it's going to have great gameplay, it's going to have a great story and everything, and they gave us nothing but mediocrity. I've always said, if you make something bad, then at least you've tried. Making something boring, you've never tried at all. You've not tried anything at all during that whole development. So I think Halo Infinite is a worse game to Halo 5. Halo 5 had a lot of content 6 months afterwards. Yes, it's a shit campaign, but you can't deny that they actually put a lot of effort into what came afterwards, and they actually gave a shit with that.
I have a follow-up to this. So I'm going to firstly start off my point by saying that I think that Sam's take is a medium take, because I actually have agreed since day one with this take. So personally, the internet, I think the internet hates Halo 5 more, so maybe I'd say
there's a lot of copium,
a bit hotter, but I take this as a medium. A lot of copium. So what I will say is that I completely agree with everything Sam said. I think my biggest issue with Infinite is that they didn't commit to how bad Halo 5 was. it's like, you know what? Just because it was bad doesn't mean you can't fix it by making a good game to follow up and wrap up the storylines. And they just, instead of doing that, they disregarded.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Pushed it to the
It
side.
reminds me of
And
the.
then
Go on.
they dragged.
Go on,
Hold on,
finish that.
they dragged Halo Wars 2 down with it too.
And no one
Banished
who just played the mainline games or like knew who the Banished was. I didn't play Halo Wars 2. I knew who they were, but I'm like, you didn't really do anything to explain that. I was just gonna say, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. That's what it reminds me of. That's what it reminds me of. That's what it reminds me of. Like afterwards. The second one was very divisive. So that for the third one, they basically just threw all their eggs in one basket and said, "Oh, fuck it, yeah."
Third one's garbage.
Yeah,
you're right. It does have wisps of that flowing through it. It's quite fucking annoying. I agree. I think that 5 at least like had loads of multiplayer modes. I enjoyed a lot of the multiplayers they did. I know that they're not the originals, but I enjoyed them. And I think the core problem with Halo is that Halo doesn't really need the Master Chief to be good. You know, Reach and ODST are examples of that. And it's like Xbox and Halo keep, like with the TV show, they just keep going, we need Master Chief to be at the helm of everything. No, you don't. Halo is Halo. It's not
Here's
Master
an easy
Chief,
thing for me to say,
you know?
right? What is one thing you remember from Halo 5? Good or bad?
The punching scene between Locke.
What is
and
one
Chief.
thing you remember from Infinite?
Awful. Hate it.
There we go.
The
Point proven. There we
go.
Where's my case, Your Honor? I'm interested to hear what Ashen has to say.
I don't. I haven't played either of these games.
It's also
so.
generic.
I think just from my perception from the community, whatever that is, would be that this is like a medium to hot take. Just because if you would have said like, you know, that like Halo 3 is the worst Halo, then that would be a fucking hot take. Mm-hmm. But like it's a little, because I think most people would say 5 is the worst one, and probably 4 under that, and then Infinite. So it's like a kind of medium hot take. But I feel like if you put all of those into the bad basket, nobody's gonna be mad at you.
The thing is, with Halo 4, I can, even though I don't like Halo 4, I can tell that they were trying. They were trying to do something. Yes, they did it poorly, but again, it's better if you actually try than not trying at all. And I feel like that I give Halo 4 a pass because they actually were giving a shit. Halo 5, I can also kind of sort of really give a pass because I can tell that they were still trying to evolve the franchise and take it into a new direction. Yes, it was divisive. People didn't really like it, me included. But then with Infinite, I feel like because they've been so dejected with the first 2 installments that they've made being so poorly received by the core fan base, for Infinite, they're just like, right, what do they want? Let's just give them it. And then whatever they couldn't do, they were just like, right, tell them it's going to be delayed or just ship it out because big Phil Spencer behind me is whispering that we need to ship it out before Christmas. And I feel like that's the main thing. I feel like also sometimes Microsoft just gets their hands too far into it. And I'm hoping further along with, what's the new Xbox CEO called? What's her name? Asha
Sharma.
Asa Sharma, yeah. So I hope with her, because she's making a lot of right decisions so far, I hope that now we can get back on track. But I just, no.
Moral choices / moral endings in video games. I'm kind of sick of the fad and I want it to go.
What do you mean by that?
Elaborate.
So, I've been experiencing Mass Effect and Dishonored again. And I have a bit of a problem with the way that these kinds of things go. Because... so for example, right, when you're playing Mass Effect, every single game, you're going through it and the moral choices you make in the previous games kind of carry over. But then, and I do love Mass Effect 3 so much, but then by the end, it kind of doesn't really have that much of an impact because the developers can't stray too far. It's too much work, it's too much responsibility, and they can't fully commit to having your choices matter, right? So another thing that more recently I've been thinking about, because I've been replaying it too, which is Dishonored. So in Dishonored 1, there is a killing equals moral code vibe. So you're an assassin, you kill people. However, don't do that, because the more you kill people, you make the game harder for yourself because there are more dead bodies, there are more plague rats, everything gets worse, and then you get the bad ending where Emily ends up like a murderess.
Spoilers.
No matter... Yeah, spoilers. However, if you choose to not kill people, it's all good, right? So you start Dishonored 2. And doesn't matter which ending you picked, because Emily's pretty much just going to be a decent leader who is a good person. So it kind of automatically chooses for you the good moral ending, and just kind of goes on that assumption. Continuing on from that, in Dishonored 2, there is a fantastic mission, light spoilers here, in a mansion where, not the Clockwork Mansion, different mansion, fancy house, where you have a special device that makes you go back and forward in time. So you are in the present day, you squeeze it, and then you end up in the past version of the location. And when you're in the past, you can do things that affect the present day / the future. So I did a whole sequence where I went through and I changed the future. Billy Lurk is a character who is the lead of BioShock Death of the Outsider, so 2.5 or 3, if you will.
BioShock Death of the Outsider.
I changed the game.
So
Dishonored Death of the Outsider. My brain's... I'm hot. Carry on. Ignore me. So, when playing this, right, when I changed the past, it changed the present, and Billy Lurk's character she's missing an arm. She now has her arm, and things are different. Little things have affected the story, so she didn't follow the exact same history that happened. I start Dishonored Death of the Outsider, and Billy Lurk is missing her arm, and everything is the same as it would have been if I didn't make those choices. And I'm like, Arcane, you couldn't commit. Stop giving me choices you can't commit to, then automatically choosing a different choice for me. So I just feel like so many games, especially when they want to tie sequels into it, can't commit to the choices, and developers either choose to disregard the choices you made for a mainline choice, or they will give you choices that in the end only have a light impact because they couldn't commit. And I fear Mass Effect 4 because I'm worried that they're going to choose a canon choice that I didn't choose as the way of going forward, because importing all those choices is going to be a bit convoluted and difficult.
So let me ask you a question then.
So.
What do you think about games that don't have moral choices that would have probably benefited from? I'll give you an example. Ghost of Tsushima. The entire game is like, do you kill people with honor or do you just kill people? And that does not have any moral choices. Right at the very end of the game, you get a binary choice of which ending you want, and that's it. So, but throughout the game, they constantly say, you've got one character being like, don't kill with honor. You've got another character saying, fuck it, kill him. So, loads of people, including myself, I think it probably would have benefited from some sort of moral choice. The more you kill dishonorably, the more people you kill dishonorably, you get the bad ending. The more people you kill honorably, you get the good ending.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think there should be some games that do require that, or do you think it should just not exist?
I think there's a place for it if you're going to be able to commit to the long-standing effects if you decide to do sequels. And I think that what's currently happening, or what I've been experiencing with these kind of choice games, is that what you do doesn't really matter half the time, because it's going to give you something to throw a spanner in the works, like the Walking Dead Telltale games. It doesn't matter who you choose, because in the end of the day, the next game, they're going to just throw that away and start again because it's too hard to build that stuff in. Mass Effect trilogy is like the closest I feel the world has ever come to actually making your stuff matter, and in the end it kind of doesn't matter very much. It's just your experience feels slightly different from someone else's. But most people end up choosing the same things. Like, you're a sick fuck if you decide to let the Genophage continue and kill Mordin. 99.9% of people will choose to let Mordin die honorably and do his thing, spoilers, and save the Krogan. So I just think that sometimes it's just a bit daft. Or like BioShock 1 having moral choices was kind of fucking stupid in my opinion, because I was like, it's not the kind of game that kind of suits that. At no point during the game does it, like, the impact is that you either murder kids and you get their immediate, slug juice, or you don't murder kids and they give you a slug teddy bear. And it's like, okay, cool. And then in the end, you might have a slightly better, or like the apocalyptic ending, or the good ending where you have a family. And I was like, right, okay, but like, why did I need that? Like, that was kind of just an unnecessary kind of, it felt tacked on. And I'm like, and also, what kind of sick fuck is murdering the children, murdering the fucking kids? Like, I don't know. It just felt kind of dumb. And in some games, I think it's doable. But if you're planning to have success and continue the games, then I'm like, that just don't bother, or find a way to make it work that won't impact the game. Because if you make a decision in one game and then you play the sequel, you expect your decision to be reflected. And as far as I remember, in Bioshock 2, the decision that you make at the end of Bioshock 1 is not reflected in 2. Like, if you decided to bring the apocalypse of the Little Sisters into the world, Bioshock 2
yeah,
is
I
none
think you're
of that.
right. I don't think there is any consequences for what choice you make in Bioshock 1 to 2.
Yeah. I just think it's a bit of a fad sometimes, and I think that most games just haven't been able to commit. You know, if there was a Baldur's Gate 4, that's going to be a complex thing, but they're not doing it because Bioshock. Baldur's Gate 3 is self-contained, works beautifully, and having sequels would cause problems. And
I don't know. I like choice-based games. I'm always gravitated towards Telltale stuff, but I'll be the first person to admit that their choices are just nothing. There is nothing behind those choices apart from, oh, do you want this person to die or survive? That's it. That's the only one that makes an impact. But everything is just...
And then they'll die anyway in the
fucking
next one.
Sarah from season 2. But yeah, it's all just binary choices. And I find it really funny how in most of these games are like, these choices that you make will matter. And they're like, no, it won't. Life is Strange is another one. Life is Strange, you have that rewind mechanic where you can just decide what choice you want and there's no consequences. And then right at the very end, they give you a binary choice of like, what do you want to do? Do you want this one or do you want that one? So I think mostly your hot take is mostly surrounding choices in games and just how poor they feel instead of it being the moral choices.
And I want them to go away. Well, most of them are like moral things that don't even matter. Like, that's the thing. The moral quandary is, do you kill the kids or do you not? The moral choice is, do you let the Krogan have keep the genophage? Like, who would choose that? You know? And then the inability in a lot of these cases to commit to the moral choices. I think that it's like a fad that just pisses me off. So I don't know if that's a hot take.
I think it's a bit of a hot take, yeah. Because I like my choice-based games. I think Mass Effect has I think I agree with you. It has like the best choices that actually do feel like they matter up until the ending.
But even then, there's a little And I'm gonna make a last point, which is that I don't like that Expedition 33 had a final choice because they're planning to make a whole series out of it. So, Mael and the Dysandra family, we all love them. We have, we've spent so much time with these characters. We love Mael, we love Verso, and we want to see more of them. They are not going to be able to do that unless we're not going to see them again in the future. Unless it's a prequel, it's fine. In the future, unless they pick for us, they're going to have to pick a canon ending to give us, because otherwise Mael is stuck in the painting and that drama continues, or Mael's not in the painting and the family have deleted the painting from existence. They could try to find a way around it, but I just think that they've kind of put themselves in a box now where they're either going to have to choose an ending to give them or not put them in the story for the next Expedition games. So yes, I'm mad at Expedition 33 for doing it as well. As fun as it was to experience it, I don't
feel
like
like you can just do whatever you want though, because that's the first game. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. Like, who are the writers? You can do something interesting with the writers. You don't have to include the Dysandra family or any of the characters.
That's what I'm saying. There are workarounds, but what if they do? What if, because they could have done this with Dishonored. They could have ignored the moral quandaries of the end of Dishonored 1 and the choices you made and completely disconnected it and done something else in the universe and not included that and let them and create a bit of a mess of the mainline canon. But instead they just carried it on, and I was like,
I guess it ultimately depends what they decide to do. But someone's been very quiet. Yeah, I guess someone's been very quiet. Buddy, share your thoughts.
I think Expedition 30, I think Clair Obscur is going to be like Final Fantasy, where each game is going to be its own thing. I think Clair Obscur is going to be like,
I hope so.
Like, that's the main core series, but then the subtitle is just whatever the actual story is about, but it's going to be completely different. Maybe.
But the council, the head of the council is the Dysandra family.
Well, I don't think that matters. I think they can do whatever they want because they made this world, and we only know about the painters right now. We don't know anything about the writers. We don't know anything outside of those two either. So if they wanted to go a completely third, crazy different direction, they could do whatever they want. It could even be completely unrelated. It could be outside of the universe. Like Final Fantasy, each game's its own universe. So like they could even do something like that. I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to carry on the story of Expedition 33 outside of maybe a prequel, and even then, I'm not sure that's going to happen. But I think your take's kind of cold.
Don't know.
I think your take's kind of cold because what I heard from that take was I don't like when choices and moral choices in video games are done badly, which is like okay. I don't like when anything in a game is done badly.
That's the thing.
You know?
That this is the thing when I word it. This is the thing. It's not even like badly. I feel like every single time I've experienced it, it's all done where I'm not even saying it's badly. I think that every time I experience it, I have a really good time.
Well, let me give you an
I
example.
think the Dishonored mechanic of that was was extraordinary. It was so good. But then they didn't continue it in the sequel. And then with Mass Effect, it may have been like fun, but in the long run, it wasn't really doing it.
Well, let me give you an example. I think they
like no
work
payoff.
best in individual games, right? You just said earlier that you have been playing Dragon Age, right? Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
That is a game where an example where I think the moral choices are done really well because they aren't moral. They are whatever you want them to be, right? They don't tell you, oh, you made the correct choice here. They just let you make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide whether it's the right choice or not. There's a lot of decisions you make in Origins where you could argue both sides, and it's very ambiguous. And because the games they're connected, right? The first one, the second one, Inquisition, they're connected, but they're way looser connected than at Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So like only certain things kind of carry over, and they do carry over some things between them. You have to do like the Dragon Age Keep and this whole thing for Inquisition. But I think Dragon Age Origins is an example where like in the individual game, it's done really well. I also think that when it comes to stuff like Mass Effect, I think that it's really about who you are as like a person, because when I play Mass Effect, I feel like I have to do everything. I feel like I need to go do all the DLCs. I feel like I need to do all the side quests. I need to make all the decisions because just for me and my enjoyment of the series and my role play of playing as Commander Shepard, I need to have those stories told and I need to have those decisions made, even if by the end of it, they kind of don't matter because you're still making kind of binary choices. They matter to me because that is my Shepard. I have built that character. The story that I have built over 3 games doesn't get thrown away because the game doesn't force, just because the game hasn't accounted for literally every single thing. I'm perfectly fine with it. What I agree with you is when the moral choices are like very fucking obvious. Where it's like you can either be a dick shit or you can be a good guy, and it's like those are the worst ones.
Fallout 4.
My problem is when it's the moral stuff. The problem that I have with these is there's no ambiguity. There's always you can go left or you can go right. And what Mass Effect does that pisses me off is it locks you in with the Renegade and Paragon. If you don't have enough Renegade, if you haven't been enough of an arsehole, you can't do these options. If you haven't been enough of a good guy, you can't do these options. So I can't even enjoy the moral complexities of picking A or B, because if I don't choose enough A or don't choose enough B, then I don't get to choose either. I'm in the middle. I don't get to choose if I'm going to kill Rex or not. I don't get to choose if I don't do either of those things enough, I don't get the choice. It's chosen for me. And Mass Effect has this problem all throughout the series where it's like, hey, sorry, you weren't nice enough. That light blue ain't popping up for you. But you weren't enough of a dick, so you don't get that red either. And so it's like, okay, so what the fuck? So the moral standing of it is what pisses me off. I think that choices in video games are okay. But if you're going to have something that has moral choices that is supposed to matter, then give me the opportunity to actually play with it and make it feel important and let me do it. And I think that Mass Effect, while being a superb game with great choices all throughout, the choices are so fucking obvious and they block you out of other things. And I think that's dumb.
All right.
So,
do you want to do any more hot takes?
Anybody got any more in them?
I got one that we can do.
Let's do some quick ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one. Big Resident Evil guy. There's a lot of good Resident Evil games. There's a lot of bad Resident Evil games. One of them in particular keeps getting shat on all the time, that being Resident Evil 6. I don't think it's that bad. I think Resident Evil 6 is fine.
Sam, this was my spare
I think
take.
it's fine.
This was
well,
my
you agree
spare
with me
take.
then? Fair enough.
Yes!
And I know Ashton hasn't got a clue because he doesn't play any
think it's
Resident Evil games, so no.
Yeah, so I think Ashton needs to... Sam, do you want to give him a quick play-by-play as to why people think Resident Evil 6
right,
is
Resident Evil
awful?
6 was way
Why is it
too
awful?
action-oriented. If you look at some of the clips, you'll see like Leon and his partner running away from a plane that's crashed from the sky, and like they're on a bridge and they're running away from it, and then they go into a bus, and then the bus starts like spinning around and everything, but somehow they survive and they
won't
don't
stop.
break any bones or whatever.
And how many
4.
playthroughs do you have to do of this campaign?
There's 4 different campaigns.
You
4
have to
different
play it 4
campaigns,
times.
different characters. It all intersects. The story intersects with different campaigns. So, like, some characters will come into Jake's campaign, Leon will be in Chris, etc., etc. But the main thing is, it's less horror focused, it's more action. And Resident Evil was on this bit of a decline from 4, 5, and then eventually 6, where it became more action oriented as time went on, and people hated that. And that's how you get Resident Evil 7,
Fair.
because they just went back to formula. So
There you go.
Yeah. I think I agree, actually. I think that Resident Evil 6, despite that, I don't think it's a bad game. It's long and different.
But do you agree it's a hot
but
take, though?
I think actually
it's a
it
hot
was
take?
okay. I do think it's a hot take. I think everyone hates Resident Evil
Everyone
6.
does.
Definitively.
I enjoed
Yeah,
it.
I really like Resident Evil 5 as
is
well.
fine.
Yeah, me too. I love 5 and 6.
Shiver.
5's awesome.
Come
I love
on,
it.
come on.
Shiver! Yeah, it was.
Chris,
come on.
come on.
It's so fucking good. I thought that it was really good. I think that 5 and 6 are both actually good games, and I think that you know what? I don't think Resident Evil has that many bad games. I think that everything's just different, and you know, I don't think it has that many.
Come on.
I think that all of them have their own vibes. Okay, you know what though? That one barely counts.
Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah, I do think it's a hot take. I think the internet wouldn't agree. Look, shut the fuck up, okay? Shh.
Those were shit.
We
Those were bad.
don't talk about that.
At least Resident Evil 6 had character.
Mainline games. I think the mainline games were all pretty solid.
I don't know. I mean,
All of them
if
have
you
been
put
solid.
like people like to like bump 4 all the time, and 4 is great. Like 4 is the pinnacle of the franchise. But 6 has something, you know. 6 has the best mercenaries mode by far, absolutely. So it's got something. It's got something good about it. But
good.
yeah, it's just yeah,
that's it.
it's good.
I think it's good. Yeah.
Nicole, you got another quick one?
All right. I'm trying to see if I do. So here's the thing. I've got quite a few, but I'm like.
Well, here, let me give a quick one.
I
Let
don't
me
know
give a
how
quick
good
one.
these are going to be. Do you?
Go on.
Yeah. Go
Let me give a
ahead.
quick one. Halo 3 is the worst of the trilogy. That's my hot take. I think Halo 1 and 2 are better. And I think Halo 3 is the worst one. And I think the reason for that is the story. I think the story is fucking awful. Chief has like 3 lines. And it makes the whole thing feel less important to me. I think gameplay wise, sure, you can give it, but I think it's not that much better than 2 and 1 for it to be this masterpiece. I think it's good, but I think 1 and 2 are better.
So I think
I really hate that I keep agreeing with these hot takes. I love Halo 3 to the moon and back. I think
And
that
for the
it's
record,
also kind of the
for the
stickiest.
record, I did not have a 360 growing up, so I did not get to play the multiplayer. I played Halo 3 later. So that is a fact. I did play a lot of Halo 1 and 2 with my friends in co-op and multiplayer, so that could also be a factor. But even with that, I care so much about Halo single player and the main story, and Chief was not a character in Halo 3, and that really bummed me out.
neither was Arbiter.
It's not even that.
Arbiter.
The problem isn't any of them. The main problem with Halo 3 is truth. Going from a this incredibly intelligent villain who schemes his way through Halo 2, manipulating everyone and killing all the guys in his way, right? Halo 3, he just becomes a
Jim
maniac,
Jones.
a religious maniac.
He just becomes a cult leader.
Yeah, he's
Not
just
great.
like, I am
not
their
great.
instrument. It's like, shut up. I think it's a medium take. In that Halo 2 is definitively the best story in the franchise. So everyone agrees that Halo 3 is nowhere near as good because of the Prophet of Truth. However, Halo 1's like gameplay and its level design is what makes people not like it as much. And the story doesn't go as deep as Halo 3. I do think Halo 3 feels very finale and a bit surface level.
Sam?
To me. In fact, if anything, if I had to compare it, I'd say it's A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back.
Whoa! We don't need to go into that. We don't need to go into that.
Yeah.
You're opening up a can of worms. We don't need to go into that.
I think the thing is about Halo 3, what I think that you probably, well, considering that you said that you had Halo 3 later, community. That was the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that people remember.
Forge
was
I didn't
added.
get into that.
Forge was added. Custom Games was added.
I did.
Sorry, I think Custom Games was before. But Forge added like a huge new layer.
Yep. Yeah.
to the experience, where people just create a bunch of random maps. There's a lot of different maps I can think of, and also the maps themselves are very iconic.
Yeah.
Theater mode as well. Machinima officially
Theater
took
mode.
off as well. Machinima in Halo 1 and 2, you had like Rooster
Fair.
Teeth and I think a couple of others, but Halo 3 propelled that. A lot of people were wanting to make Machinimas.
Yeah. I'd say
I
it's a
think so.
medium take in terms of.
I guess
Ashton saying that
that's
about
where
the
it comes
story.
down.
I think it's a hot
Is
take
that
overall.
because I think even if I had a 360 back then, I'm such a single player Andy that like we're taking away the single player experience from me and reducing that down and bolstering the multiplayer doesn't do a lot for me. I don't play Halo for the multiplayer. I play it for the story and the single player personally. So when that's worse to make the multiplayer better, that's not going to help out for me.
I think
So
it doesn't
that's
help
why
as
it's my
well.
take.
Like Halo 2 has such
Yeah.
a good story as well. So when you
So
have
good,
an
yeah.
amazing story and it's an all-time high, you expect.
And then you give
the
Master
next
Chief
one
like 3
to
lines,
get
yeah.
higher than that.
Fucking sucks.
And it's really difficult. It's very, very difficult. Well,
3 lines, dude.
The example I'll give you, Empire
Remember
Strikes
when
Back.
I want you to hold on. I want you to because think about this, right? There's countless like iconic lines in Halo 2 to give the Covenant back their bomb, right? So
Boo.
good, right? Name one iconic line.
The
Name
trailer,
one
bitch can't
iconic
stick it.
line from Halo 3.
To war.
to war.
Don't even know. I don't even remember it. Like there's
I
just
literally can. I literally
nothing. There's
can.
just nothing. There's
I
one line
think.
I like.
No,
There's
I
one
just
line
qu-
I
I just
like,
quoted
which is Cortana at the very beginning saying like, you know, I chose you because you're lucky, and like I think that's pretty cool. But that's it.
They made
Yeah.
That's it.
they made me pick. Did I ever tell you that? So I mean, my favorite line from Halo 3 is, "What's the matter? Can't start your own
I don't remember
pie."
that. I don't remember
That's
that.
Johnson.
I-
It was so
fuck-
forgettable.
It's what Johnson says to Truth because he can't activate the ring. Only
Crazy
Johnson can 'cause
bastards,
he's a
why
human.
do you
Speaking of
always jump?
Johnson,
It's just-
speaking of Johnson, fucking
yeah. That's two.
That's three.
in level 2,
Isn't it? No, it's
in
three.
level
Yeah,
2,
it's the beginning of 3.
you know, when he's like, "Oh, I know what the ladies like."
Yes.
He's like level 2. That's technically 4.
No,
isn't it?
oh yeah, because that's when the tank shows up.
Because the cutscene
That's what-
counts as one. Cairo
It's like
Station,
one big level to me in my
outskirts
brain,
Metropolis.
you know.
No, fair
it's
enough.
Metropolis. Yeah, no,
Anyway,
you're right, it is.
That was my
Yeah,
my quick
yeah.
Halo take. Nicole, you want to give us one last one?
I have one. I don't know how much you guys are going to be able to have an impact on this, but maybe someone else will. Which is, I think that Arcane's best game is Prey,
Wow.
not Dishonored.
Sure, whatever.
I think people would disagree with me on that. I just think that Prey is one of the greatest immersive sims, and I think that Dishonored and Prey both take from Deus Ex and like how fucking brilliant those immersive sim games are. I just think that Dishonored was following a very straight line all throughout, and your mission is get to your target, get out, get to your target, get out every time. Prey is you're in an entire space station. You have free range to go in and out of it and have fun. There are lots of fun little moral choices that can be made. And I like the way that the story managed to handle those decisions. You don't have to even do anything. You can just sit back and not partake in those things. And it's very much a... I think it's one of the greatest examples of modern day immersive sims done right. And it got done dirty by the fact that I think Bethesda made them pick the title of Prey based on the fact that they owned the IP and they cancelled the original Prey sequel, which did it dirty. So I think that Prey, while being super underrated, is definitely, I think, Arcane's best game.
Okay.
And that's
good.
That's
good.
my take. I think that people would
That
disagree.
can be a bit
'cause
of a
Dishonored
medium
is so
take,
good,
I
but
think. I think some people will probably agree with you.
Yeah. I'd hope they do. I hope they do. Deathloop is underrated as well, but you know that's a different story for
Two
a different
spicy
day.
takes,
Those-
wow.
Screw those people.
Do for the price of one.
Back to back.
Yeah, and I could follow it up with like Redfall isn't
Jesus,
that
no.
bad, but I was like, is it though? So I don't know. I don't know about that. I did play it all, now I'm playing it again, but I have issues. So
All right.
no, Redfall is bad.
Those were our
Chicago.
hot takes.
Yep.
Let us know what you think about those hot takes in the comments below. But now, it's minigame time. We just got finished giving our video game hot takes. But now, we're going to judge the internets. All right? Y'all have
Okay.
had your chance to hear us
I
and
like
yell at
this.
us. Well, it's our time to yell at you. All right? So I've got a couple hot takes here that I've grabbed from Reddit. You know, the bastion of
Oh,
terrible
The
terrible
best place
takes.
on the internet to be.
I sorted by controversial. So we're going to get some nice ones in
Perfect.
here. And we are going to judge whether these hot takes, do we agree? Do we disagree? You ready for the first Reddit hot take? The first one, and this is from 4 months ago, just so there's some recent, we'll have some recent stuff in here. Being able to play games online has done irreparable damage to the average quality of games. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I think that's a really good hot take, actually. Because I kind of agree, I kind of don't. That's a pretty.
I'm gonna go
tough
disagree.
Take. I think that. I think that there's kind of an agree. I'm semi on that. I think that because they're online, it means that developers have gotten away with bad things, like updating their games after release because they didn't put it out fully in the first place. And they're like, we'll just update it a few months down the line and fix all the problems later. Back in the day, right, you had to get that thing on a disc and get it, or cartridge, and get it to people good first time, or you're cooked. And when Bungie did it, I think in the old Marathon days, they screwed theirs up. They had to resend out the discs
Myth
again
2.
To all the
Myth
people that
2.
bought it because they messed it up. Yeah. So it was Myth.
It was basically a
yes.
bug that would delete your
So I
entire
think there's a
directory
level of truth
on your
to that.
PC. Your entire PC
shit.
would just be bricked.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that there's I think the multiplayer has been multiplayer online has been so important to the gaming space that it's like it's a necessary part of gaming. But I think that developers have taken the piss and started doing some really bad habits.
I think over time, yes. Because if you look especially nowadays with online multiplayer games, they pale in comparison to what came before. However, a lot of the online stuff, like, again, I'm sorry to bring it up, but Halo had a lot of revolutionary stuff when it was online. Halo 2's multiplayer basically made Xbox Live alongside Battlefront 2, and then Halo 3 Reach continued to improve it. Also, Call of Duty as well, back in the day on the 360, it would be nothing without the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 or for Black Ops. So I feel like the online multiplayer has helped in some way, especially when we're talking about the Xbox 360 PS3 generation. But nowadays, like Nicole said, there's a lot of online stuff that I just don't agree with, like online only, for example. Even for single-player games, to download the updates, or sometimes where you even have to download the entire game from a server, even if you bought the disc. I don't agree with that. I do feel like there is a lot of shady stuff the developers are doing. But at the same time, you can't deny the impact that online multiplayer has had, especially for the console space. So I would disagree with this one.
And the addition of everything being so online, it's also unfortunately killed physical game sales. Because
that's unrelated to
physical
quality.
media.
That's unrelated to quality. That's unrelated.
No, yeah. I just think in the long run, I think
that's a
that
different
there's
conversation we can have
But yeah.
later.
Why do you
about
disagree?
digital stuff. I disagree because, and this might be rose-tinted glasses, to be honest, but when I think back to when online was first really becoming a big thing, I think of the PS3, Xbox 360 era. And when I think of something like a Halo 3, a Halo Reach, or, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank, I really loved on PS3, and a lot of these big PS3 Last of Us, like these big games that I adore from that time period, whether they have multiplayer or not, I don't remember them coming out as broken as games do today. But that's when games were really implementing online for the first time in this big way. That was the first time we could download patches on a regular. But I feel like games weren't broken as much as they are now. And so I don't think that being online is the reason the quality of games has reduced. I think it's other factors outside of that. So that's why
How
I would
expensive
disagree.
everything is. That's a big factor.
I think, I think economics is a bigger reason.
I know. I see what you mean. No, I do think though that it's just given people an excuse to just take the piss, but it's not online's fault. This is why I'm kind of
There's a lot more factors at play than online.
I'm definitely mixed. There's so many complexities. Yeah, I kind of agree with this one. I do have, like, I'm not going to say it's like not 100% like the internet's fault, but it's definitely
it's a factor.
being used badly.
All right. Hot take number 2. The movement towards design by committee development is in part responsible for the shift in the extreme. Often angry entitlement and misguided expectations we see from the gaming community at large. Review bombs, hyperbolic Reddit posts, emotionally charged YouTuber influencer content. Game designers and directors have their vision. Not liking it doesn't and shouldn't inherently entitle players to voice a shift in that vision?
I think I
agree.
Kind of
I agree. If I had a
with this hot
stick
take, to
that
be
had
honest.
agree disagree, I would go agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you know, I'm gonna point to Star Wars briefly on this. I think that that so many things in the Star Wars fan base have been negatively affected and by the fact that the community has had such a terrible response to and reaction to things. I think there's a level of you've got to ignore a part of the internet that is being so overly aggressive. Like if they're leading to review bombing, you're letting hate win. And I think that that is what we shouldn't be doing at all. Like I can sit there and dislike something to the end of time, right? Like for example, throwing back to mixtape, right? I can dislike mixtape and like what it is, right? I would never, ever, ever want the developers to do anything other than what they want to do. Just because I don't like it for me doesn't mean there's not a huge community that's just less vocal of people who are still enjoying it. So
to summarize
yeah,
this point, to like reword it in a way, I think they're basically saying that because we as players are so like freely able to voice our opinions and our desires and our negatives towards the developers via Twitter or whatever, right? And YouTube and stuff, that has caused game developers as a whole to start listening to those comments and shifting their games, even if that's not what their original vision was, to appease those that negativity and try to like stifle it a little bit. And I think I agree with this point. That's made games worse because I think you need to have a vision. You need to stick to it. If it's bad, it's bad. Whatever. Learn from it. Move on. But I think a big factor of this is I don't think players actually know what they want. I think players think they know what they want, but they don't actually know what they want until they get it and they try it and they find out they actually like it.
Same, actually. I think that I'm definitely one of those people that I can go back and forth so much on things. Like if you put it in front of me,
I think developers start to get scared to try new things, to take a risk. I think gaming has become very risk averse because they're scared of the backlash. They're scared of the Reddit post. They're scared of the review bombing, and that can directly correlate to lower sales. And I think that has been that more than games being multiplayer or having patches. Online discourse has done irreparable damage to the quality of games.
I agree and disagree. Okay? So, yes, I think that communities and fan bases, they do have a tendency to just completely go too far with things. A point that I'll give is the Halo community. Again, back to Halo. There she is. She's there. So, the Halo community is always just completely fucking negative all the time. Completely negative. And they're always... you go on like an Instagram post from Halo and you'll see the first like 3 comments are all just people going, you ruined the series. Like, that's not constructive. That's just being a bitch, right?
No.
However, there is the off chance as well that you will get developers that do not listen to their fans whatsoever. An example I'll give is Helldivers, for example, right? You look at the Helldivers page on Steam right now, you will see overwhelmingly negative, right? But why? Because Helldivers 2 is so, revered by so many people. People love that game. Well, it's because the developers have not fixed bugs and problems that were present at launch to this day. And this game came out in 2023, I think it did. Now, the community have voiced their opinion time and time again, saying, no, stop adding new stuff, fix the stuff that's broken, and they just completely get ignored.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not that is the developers sticking to what they think is right for the game, as opposed to what the fans think is right for the game, I don't know. But the one thing that I will say about it is that there's this discourse sometimes in communities between fans and the creators. The creators have a vision, and they want to execute that vision. The fans either love it or they hate it. And then sometimes you'll get creators just not paying attention to their fans whatsoever, and then it severely hurts the game, like with Helldivers. Or you'll get fans that just completely disrespect the developers and what they're trying to do, like with Halo. So it depends ultimately.
I think there's a level of balance that needs to be found because people do need to be held accountable. Like when you decide to make your game, I don't know, entirely loot boxes and microtransactions.
So stuff like that needs to be called out. 100%.
Yeah, but I do think that there needs to be a way that we can try and vet this. I don't know what the hell it's going to be, but I do think that there is a serious issue with the loudest voices being the most negative voices, and then people being afraid and backlash, and it's like, I am quite sad actually to see how much hate Mixtape is getting.
Me too.
I am a hater myself, but I don't want people to bully the developers. I think that
there's a difference between valid criticism from people who give a shit. I'll wait.
And
Sorry, I just shot some water. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Finish your point. Yeah, pretty much.
There's a difference between valid criticism from someone who genuinely cares and wants the games to be better or the next game to be better, and then people who are just doing online clout and hating for online clout. And that is something that is really hard to parse through right now. And I don't know how you fix that, but it's unfortunate. But I wanted to piggyback off of what Sam said about games having a vision and maybe that not being for everybody, but sticking to that vision, because that's your artistic desire. Because here's another hot take that I found on Reddit: Souls-likes are too hard. Not everyone is willing to put in the time to memorize the movesets or get perfect at parrying and rolling. Give us a difficulty slider, please. Agree,
I feel this is something that you two probably are more inclined to agree on or whatever. I have no stake in this fight whatsoever, but I do think that I have seen how hard these games can be. I do not have the patience for learning and for spending hours and hours.
I used to not, and now I do. Don't worry, it's in there somewhere.
So, yeah,
I'll start. I'm gonna start.
Right.
I'm gonna go.
Please. I'm tilted.
Disagree, because primary reason being what Sam said is that is part of their vision. If you are not every game is made for everybody. That is just the fact. Not every piece of art is made for you, right? I think there's a conversation to be had about accessibility, and that's very important. And I think accessibility is very important to talk about. But I also, I am not a disabled individual, so I can't speak upon every disability. I can't speak upon what their struggles are with games and whatnot, and what would help them and what wouldn't. That's for them to give their conversation. But I tend to believe that a lot of people with disabilities don't want to just be babied. They don't want to be treated like they're infants and been saying, okay, well, because you're disabled, you have to play on easy mode, right? I think there's probably more creative ways to give accessibility than just going the easy mode. And I think a lot of people who want to have those difficulty sliders in the Souls games don't actually give a fuck about accessibility at all. They just want to play the game and are upset that they don't have the patience to do it. And because it's a popular game and they want to be in on it. But I'm sorry, not everything is made for you. Resident Evil is a great franchise. It might not be for me because I'm not a horror person. Dead Space, I gave it a shot. It wasn't for me.
Maybe one day.
It is what it is. That doesn't mean that I need to ask them now. Exactly. That doesn't mean that I need to ask them to now change what they wanted to do with those games to cater to me. It just means that those games aren't for me. And unfortunately for this person who gave this Reddit hot take, dude, Souls games just aren't for you, man. It's okay. Go play something else.
For some reason, the difficulty in Souls-like and Soulsborne games is something that people feel that they can dictate, and they can be like, no, you need to change it because it's not fair. And I'm just like, you wouldn't say that about literally like puzzle games. You wouldn't be like, hey, dumb down the puzzle. It's too hard for me. Like you wouldn't expect a developer to do that for a puzzle game. It's like, but there is often yellow paint in places for that reason, for those people, which is another problem I have. So yeah, Liza P was something I was talking about earlier. It pissed me off when they added the difficulty slider because so many people are now going to go through and do that. One of the things that I really like looking at, this doesn't sound very nice, but I love seeing how far the percentages are of people who get the achievements in different Soulsborne or Souls-like games. You can see how far people have made it when you see that 60% of players have finished Elden Ring and gotten this one ending, but 40% of players have beat Malenia Blade of Miquella. And so I'm like, okay, so there are people who finished the game and just skipped Malenia. Maybe she was too difficult. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe they just didn't want to do that. Who knows? But I find it really fun looking at the stats and seeing what people wanted to do, what people didn't want to do, and how hard people found it. And who was willing to put in the time to try and get good. And I just think that with Liza P adding difficulty slider, it was kind of just a bit of a cop-out, because I'm like, no, you committed to making this beautiful game that is supposed to train you to be good enough at all these things that by the time you get to the final boss, you are prepared. I didn't follow their training, and I didn't learn to parry until the last boss, so I had a terrible time, but I did it. And I think that it ruins the vision. I think that accessibility is a completely different conversation in terms of people who have a disability, and I'm sure there are workarounds that can be built to put in. I would love for those modes to be created and inserted for people who actually require it. I think that everyone has the capability to get good, regardless of like what you got going on. So I think that don't dumb yourself down and be like, I'm incapable of doing this. You either want to try or you don't want to try. And Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Lies of P are all games about getting back up and trying again. And like, here's how you
just
never
like
give
school.
up.
Everyone's capable of getting good grades. It's just some people it'll be a harder journey than others, and that's okay. But it's like, to me, it's kind of like, imagine if I was like, okay, I want to go play soccer or football, as you English people call it. I want to go play this sport, right? I'm very unathletic. I'm getting a little older. My knee's starting to hurt. And I went onto the soccer field with fucking, who's the big soccer guy who's like the GOAT or whatever, Messi. And I went onto the field with Messi and his team, and they were whipping my fucking ass, and I was like, no, actually, I think you guys need to leave and like bring in some like older people, bring in some people more my fitness level. Then I'll play, because then it's fair. And it's like, no, you signed up to go play this sport, and now you're telling them that they need to be less athletic so that you can have fun? Nah, dude, get the fuck out of the sport. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't just tell people they have to cater to you in every whim. I'm sorry, everyone thinks they're the main character. You're not that important, dog. It's not for you. Go play something else.
Guy.
No.
You're not that guy, bro.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Every game doesn't have to cater to you.
I think that's
okay?
one of the internet's hottest takes, and it's one of the ones I disagree with vehemently. So,
any thoughts, Sam? I know you haven't played these games, but like, difficulty in games in general, right? Difficulty / should every game have a difficulty option, that kind of thing?
It depends what the game is. Souls games, no.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. From a man who doesn't play them,
The
because he knows
reason why they're notoriously
and I want it noted
hard,
that
they're there for people who want to challenge.
yes, and why they're popular.
Think my opinion is that Dark Souls and From Software as a whole would never have gotten as big as they were if they didn't make those games brutally hard. Because what do people remember about Dark Souls 1 when it came out? It was fucking hard. They literally came out, their like edition that they came out years later was Prepare to Die edition. That's part of the market appeal. If you take that away, I don't think it sells as much. And I don't think they become as big as they are.
Yeah.
So that's part of their vision artistically, and it's also part of their success. And I think taking that away is ridiculous.
And for anybody who, doesn't think it's for them, I didn't like them. I actually hated them. I refused to play them. I did Dark Souls 1, made it to like the third boss, and was like, hate this. Played Jedi Fallen Order, fell in love with it, and I was like, this is kind of like baby's first Dark Souls, okay. And then I went, okay, Elden Ring, let's see how this goes, because it's a nice open world, gives you space to move around and try and breathe and practice. And by the end of that game, best game I've ever played, or one of them anyway.
And again, it's okay.
So you know what? Maybe just haven't.
It's okay if it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes, again, not every game.
Never know.
Can we talk about people saying this game isn't for everyone? No shit. That's just a fact. Every single person knows this. Not every game is for everybody. There is not a single game on this planet Earth that is for everybody. Okay? That's just a fact. All right? So can we stop saying that? I'm so tired of people saying that. It's like, no shit. It's not for everybody. Shut the fuck up. Give me a real point. Okay? So, yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Rant over.
All right. I think let's go ahead and move on
That one.
to the next thing.
That one tilts me. Yeah, that's
Cool.
Cool.
Let's do this one. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you and Nicole, Sam and Nicole, I'm going to show you a game, and you have to guess what the Metacritic score is. The closest to the correct number wins.
Okay.
I did this with Stargate episodes and IMDb ratings. It was very difficult.
Right, let's go.
We're going to start
Okay.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Metacritic.
Okay, who's going first here? Sam? I think Sam will kind of will be closer because he's played it.
And for the record, just for integrity's sake, I chose because Metacritic does different scores for each console. right? I know Spider-Man 2 is
Yeah.
only on one console, but for games that have multiple consoles, I pick the highest score of those.
Okay, so this one came out what year?
2023.
Cool.
90.
Think back.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Spider-Man 2?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I'm gonna go for. I was gonna go for a 78. I'm going the other
Damn.
side of the spectrum. on
All right,
this.
well, you're fucking dead ass wrong. It was 90 on the dot. Sam got it
Damn,
right on the dot.
that's crazy. Well, Sam's played it, so
Yeah,
he
people likes
has a
it.
better idea of it. I thought that there might be a bit of a more of a mixed bag where it kind of went back and forth and then dropped down and hovered
Nah,
around. I
people
was
One
gonna
of
say
those
82,
one of
and
those
then I was
games
like, oh,
where
don't be too nice.
critics love it and
Good.
fans just were very mixed on it.
That's yeah. I'm very
Next
glad
game.
though. Good for them. You know, I'm happy for them.
Next game, Halo 2.
Fuck me. It has a
Yeah.
Metacritic score.
Why would it not have a Metacritic score?
Well, some old games don't, but they have to
I
be
don't know,
old.
wait-
They have to be old as
Yeah.
We're
shit.
talking like 70s,
Okay.
1970s.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
It was really divisive at the time. Are all the reviews from like
I can
back
neither
then?
confirm nor deny because I don't remember.
94.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I would give it like a 98 personally. You said 94. I'm gonna say that people probably beefed with it at the time, even though it's the greatest game ever. So I'm gonna go for like an 88.
The answer is 95.
Oh,
Sam is killing
Yo!
it. Killing it.
Great work,
Wow.
Halo 2. I'm
Absolutely
so happy.
killing. You
I'm
are
going 2 under. I
underselling
need to
all
go
of these
over.
games, Nicole. That's your problem.
I was gonna say 98. I should have done
Absolutely
that. I should've done
underselling.
that.
Absolutely underselling.
crazy.
Okay.
Next game.
Crazy.
Ride
Oh my god.
like
to
that laugh.
Hell Retribution.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
We're going from way up here to way
Um,
down here. Just how far down did we go for Ride to Hell Retribution?
22.
12. I was gonna say 22 and then I
12
changed to
versus
12.
22? The answer was 19. Sam's closer. Once again.
19.
Damn!
Wow.
That was good.
19.
Amazing.
Damn. I suck.
Yeah,
at
he's got
this.
3 up on you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, get good, Nicole. Get
Yeah,
good.
I need to trust my gut. I should go for my first answer. I can't handle all the trivia pressure. This is a constant issue for me. I lose Trivial Pursuit all the time
Next game.
because of that.
Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham.
Which year did it come out?
No,
Is it the
no.
new one?
this is the last one before the new one,
74.
Which year?
which was 2014.
Which year was it?
Why does the year matter? Does that change your fucking
I'm trying to put
number?
it up against other things. Actually, no. The way I'm thinking about it is like, I'm trying to think about in the space of because I haven't played it, what Lego games are kind of coming out in that kind of era, and so it kind of helps me kind
Just
of
pick
put
pick a number,
twist on
man.
it.
Pick a
I'm
number.
failing anyway,
Yeah,
so maybe I
maybe you
should
should
throw
stop
that away. I'm gonna go for a. I'm gonna go above Sam this time. I'm gonna go.
Sam, what
80.
was yours?
74.
Sam, you've got to stop. You've got to stop. It's exactly 74. How are you doing this? Are you looking this
Sam,
up? Are you
what the
fucking with me?
fuck?
Are you cheating?
His wife's in the
My hands
next
are
room
here. My
whispering
hands
the
are here.
answers. She's
can
holding
hold
up
my
her
hands up.
whiteboard.
Damn, that's crazy.
God.
I've not once
that is
looked down.
nuts.
Not once looked down.
It's very true. God damn. All right, Nicole, you've got to get this one.
Damn. I gotta get one. No, I don't gotta get shit. Fuck off.
Well, because this next game, Wander
no.
Stop.
No. I think people
84.
liked it. I just didn't. I'm going for a 77 on this one.
Wow. By 1 point difference between you two,
Oh.
Nicole gets this one. It was 80. Nicole was off by 3, Sam off by
Yes!
4.
Congratulations.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. I got one. I
Yeah.
played that one.
I was like,
What-
you don't
yeah.
get this one. Come on.
1 out of 5
Woo!
ain't bad.
I will say, actually, I haven't played a lot.
We got a couple
of,
more.
Of,
We got a couple more.
These.
Let's go.
Played Halo. Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Fuck me. I don't play these games. Okay, right. Oh, Galaxy. 92.
92.
97.
You prick.
Damn, you've got to stop.
Get
This
away
is ridiculous. 97 on the dot, dude. That's
Sam.
crazy.
Sam!
My
Dude,
hands
you're
are right
so
here.
good at this. You're
hands
so
are here.
good at this.
Look, I've at least got 1 point.
Oh my god.
So it's fine. If this was
I think-
Stargate
holy
episode,
shit.
I think
fuck
she's
you guys.
lost.
Okay.
Let's just stop right here.
We got a couple more. We got a couple.
Nah, I wanna climb out of this hole.
Okay.
I wanna climb out
Hold
of
on.
this
Let's see.
hole.
So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
At least a respectable 2.
There's still a
Is what I
chance.
want.
Nicole
I just
could
want.
win if she sweeps.
Okay.
There's still a chance. At one point, I'm gonna do this to
If
you.
you get the
guys
next
instead,
4,
let
then
Ashton
we're
play.
neck and neck.
Okay.
So.
Shut up.
Next game. Devil May Cry 2.
Alan Wake. Was this one well received? I don't remember.
That's the question.
It
Yeah.
actually is the question.
That's literally the
I'm-
question.
I'm gonna let Sam go first. I have my number. I just don't want to
Okay.
impact Sam.
He could
mean,
steal your number.
So, I'm gonna.
That'd
Yeah,
be
it was
jokes,
fine.
wouldn't it? That
I'll just go one
absolutely.
up or down.
That'd be hilarious.
I'll go up or
Devil
down
May
on it.
Cry 2.
Yeah.
72.
I was gonna go for an 85.
Sam gets it again. It was 68. That one was
Yeah.
not well received.
People did
Oh,
not
so it
like
wasn't
that
well
one.
received.
that's
It's
the
bad.
that's the bad one. That's the one everyone hates.
Damn.
That's the one where you
That's
can
the
like
bad one.
walk through.
I didn't remember which
and
one was the
all
bad
the
one.
demons or whatever, they just don't hit you whatsoever.
It's really
They
bad.
literally they don't
It's really
attack you.
bad.
Damn. Yeah, I need to play Devil May Cry. I need to like actually see what the drama was about. Okay.
Days Gone.
Oh, no.
68.
71. I was
71.
gonna go for 69.
68.
71.
Sam said
Frick, you're
68.
gonna get it 'cause it's lower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicole, you got it. 76. 76.
I did not know it was that
Oh.
high. Fair enough.
Well, the thing is, I heard Days Gone actually isn't that bad. I think it just had a lot of
It's
like
fine.
it was one of those
It's
weird
alright.
mixed ones. Yeah.
Alan Wake.
For me, fine is like 70s.
Alan Wake.
Wake what? The first one? Fuck. I don't know the answer. It was. I think it was mid. People thought it was mid. I love it.
72.
I'm going for 80.
And the winner is Nicole. It got an 83.
Wow. All right.
Pretty high. Pretty high. Honestly.
Okay, because it's a good game. It's a good game. Woo.
If Nicole sweeps
Made
the
me
rest of
nervous.
them, which is there's 3 more, she can tie.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yay. Okay. Won't. But
Next game. Crimson Desert.
Fuck. 80. Don't remember. I should have paid more attention when we were talking about it. 80.
81. Let's make it interesting.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
The Metacritic score for Crimson
That's why I
Desert
didn't want to
is 79. Nicole got it by 1 point.
Well done, Nicole. I should have gone lower.
It would have been a
Should
tie.
have said
and I
79
don't
instead of
know what to
81.
do.
Oh well.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty close for me. I'm quite proud of that one. Okay,
Good
good,
show,
good.
good show.
I did pay attention, I guess, somewhere in there. It's locked away. Okay.
Second to last one.
Sam's letting me win.
RoboCop
Okay.
Rogue City.
I was watching a review about this the other day, and I should have paid attention.
You gotta pay attention to everything
Damn
now.
it.
Lock it all in the brain.
Fuck. Okay. I don't want to say what I'm thinking out. I'm gonna let Sam go first because I have.
It
something
would make
I
a
wanna say.
difference.
Yeah. I don't want you to go off mine.
RoboCop Rogue City. I'm gonna go for 80.
So I heard that this game was like not the best, but it was like good for what it was doing. I'm going 77 on this.
You might have.
The Metacritic score for RoboCop Rogue City is 76. The comeback is real. The comeback is real.
I paid attention slightly to the review.
What a wild turn.
It was a Game Ranks video analysis on it, and I was like, sure,
We
I'll
got
watch
one
that.
more game. If
Wow,
Nicole can
okay.
get this one, she'll tie it up.
I watched that video.
She will tie
yesterday
it up if
while
she gets
knitting.
this last one.
Fuck. me.
Stray.
Mm.
You know, you didn't say yours first, so I want you to say yours first this time.
I don't want to go, you boy. Just go away from me. 87.
High praise. 84.
I think it was nominated for Game of the Year, so, but there weren't many choices.
So Sam was 84, Nicole 87.
Yep.
The Metacritic score for Stray was 83. Sam is our winner. Right at the end, he clutched up.
Clutch.
I was only 4
Yeah,
off,
but he was
though.
only 1 off.
I'm pretty proud of that. And I got the Alan Wake one, so
Good
I'm
stuff,
really
y'all.
proud of
Good
that.
stuff.
Once you're proud of
So,
yourself, that's fine.
Yeah.
I still won, though.
I'm the Alan Wake girly. If I didn't get it, I mean, you're an Alan Wake boy, but I'm the Alan Wake girly. I mean, look at this shelf here.
What a
Goodness
nerd.
gracious.
Wow. Yeah. At some point, I'm going to do one of these so that
That's
Ashton
fun.
can play.
I like that.
So I want Ashton to be able to play.
It's fun. It's fun.
What else you got?
That was good.
We only have one more thing. So
Okay.
we can try to get through this one kind of quick.
Okay.
Y'all might have to do some thinking though. So yeah.
You're asking a lot.
It's fine. I think of my feet. I'll go first. Or I won't. We'll see.
Next thing we're going to do, we are going to create our perfect Star Wars game. Perfect Star Wars game for us. So we each individually are going to craft a Star Wars game by filling all of these factors. We have to pick a story, gameplay, graphics, music, and a developer. So you'll say a game, and you'll say, okay, my perfect Star Wars game would have a story kind of like this game. And then you would say that.
So what are the
And
categories?
then same thing with gameplay, and then developer, you would just pick the developer. So we've got to fulfill story, gameplay, graphics, music, and developer.
Okay.
And we cannot overlap.
Okay.
Is this
Fuck
kind of thing where
you,
one of us
piece of
starts
shit.
from
Okay.
story and then we go gameplay, graphics, developer, then it goes.
You can do
back
whatever
up
you want.
again? Oh, okay.
Okay.
But we will do one at a time. But we're not going to do double picks because it's not like a limited pool of options, really.
And you got to pick a
I just
game that's
kinda wanna-
close to it.
When you say graphics, what's the answer for graphics?
What do you want the
what-
game to look like?
Show me.
Graphics, art style, what do you want it to look like? Here, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'll start. My perfect Star Wars game would have a story
Yeah.
like Mass Effect. We're doing choices, big, grand, epic soap, what's it called? Space soap opera or whatever. Want something like Mass Effect, but in the Star Wars universe.
I'm gonna say right now, is this cheating if I do this? I want the developer to be
Yeah.
Respawn
Yeah,
because they've
sure,
absolutely
if you
nailed
want,
it.
yeah.
They've nailed Fallen Order and Survivor. Like it would be, yeah. I think they've just done such a good job with that. So I'm going for that.
That'll work.
Yeah.
It's a little boring.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to pick the
But
one
they're
that
so
has
good at
already
it.
done it.
Bitch,
Snore.
fuck you. I do what I want.
Next should be like, I want the story of Jedi Fallen Order.
no,
I want the
twins.
music of Battlefront 2.
Could you imagine? Fine. Should I
Nope,
change my answer?
it's locked
Should I
in.
change my answer?
It's
I'll
locked
change my
in. You're
answer.
done. You're done.
Okay.
I'm honestly
I don't wanna be
shocked you didn't
boring.
say
I
like
was gonna
Remedy
pick
or
someone
something.
else. I don't know if they'd do a good Star Wars. I love them. I don't know if they could do it.
I don't. Was that how interconnected their universe is? Like,
Oh, see now
but
you
it's
see
too late now. Maybe you could.
That
Maybe
was
you could
it.
use.
Yeah.
I don't know something.
Sam's gonna go for it. Nah, Sam's doing his research.
I am.
Like he's doing his research. Come on.
Graphics. I'd
Spit it
want it
out.
to be like Okami.
Ooh, you're cooking over there. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're kind of cooking. What? Okay, I'm very interested to see how the rest of your
Nice.
build goes. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Okay. We'll go back to me. I would want the developer. I gotta do it. I need the developer to be From Software.
Yeah, you're gonna pick one up. My backup. That
They
was
don't
what I
miss.
was gonna pick as
They
my
don't
developer,
miss.
and then I chose Respawn. Yeah, good shout. Good shout. Yeah, yeah. My graphics / art style is Dishonored.
Really?
Something about the way that it looks is so interesting. Like Star Wars is always quite like hyper realistic or Lego, and I think that Dishonored has this kind of weird, kind of like brutal ugliness to it, and I quite like it.
It's got almost like a Clone Wars if it was ugly kind of vibe.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of in that vein. Yeah, something about that art style has
Yeah,
always like
yeah.
hit me. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Interesting choice.
and we're not allowed to double dip, are we? With things we've got to switch things
Nah,
out. Good,
nah,
good,
nah,
good,
nah,
good.
nah,
I'm
nah.
happy to.
Got to make it varied,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. My developer, Ninja Theory.
All right.
Interesting.
Cambridge, that's where I'm from. Yeah, let's go.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. You're cooking.
Cooking.
You're fucking cooking.
All right.
Interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh God.
I would want. Man, this is tough. I would want the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because I think Rebirth has the best combat system in any game ever made. And I would love that in Star Wars.
Good shout. Good shout. I'm gonna go for the gameplay. Now, this is me technically cheating, but is it cheating? I can't double dip with Arcane and Dishonored, so I could say Prey, but that's Arcane, so it feels like cheating. It's in the same vein. So I'm going for a different immersive sim, one of the OGs, the immersive sim style of Deus Ex as my gameplay.
Nice.
Nope. Okay, you're building an Arcane Star Wars game right now.
And I want that. That's is there a problem? I've already had a Souls-like Star Wars game. I'm dipping into something else. So, and it's in the realm of like the bounty hunter type game we didn't get in the end.
Can you pick
Fair.
a Star Wars game for one of the categories?
So I cheated by choosing Respawn. So yeah.
I feel like that's a little cheating.
Well, I picked Respawn. So.
But yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
fuck
can
it, you
cheat,
can do it.
but only a little bit.
It's just a little boring.
Yeah,
it's
just
just a little boring. That's all. You just have to accept you're bored.
Yeah.
I know that anyways. Okay.
You have to accept that you're a guy who, when you were asked to make a creative Star Wars game, you were like, I'll just put what has already come
No,
out.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go gameplay Devil May Cry.
Ooh.
Yo, which one?
5.
Okay, fair. That's a good
I'm scared.
pick.
I'm
That's
scared
a good
Ashton's
pick.
about to take one of my choices. I feel like it's coming. Go ahead, Ashton.
Man. Oh, I have
No,
it.
no,
I
you
have
don't
it.
have it.
Yeah,
You
I've got
don't
it.
have
I've
You
got
don't
it.
have it.
I'm going to take
Don't do it.
the music
No, don't do it.
from Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
That's the one I was like, I shouldn't open my mouth. I like gave it to
It's
you.
too easy.
I
It
gave
was right
to
there.
you.
It was
By
right
opening my
there.
fucking mouth, I gave it to you. God
You've
damn
only got
it.
yourself to blame with that one.
Can you imagine if they put Star Wars? Can you imagine Duel of the Fates, but it was fucking composed by Lorien Testar? Not that Duel of the Fates isn't already amazing, right? It's like the best Star Wars song ever. But can you imagine it then also having Lorien Testar on top of it? Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Holy
well,
shit.
that's fine. I've got my backup man. So, I'm gonna go for. So he does video games, and he is my hero. I have a tattoo of him, of his music here. I'm going for Bear McCreary for my music because he did Battlestar, Outlander, God of War. He is my main man, my favorite musician, and his orchestral movements are incredible.
Okay, hold on. But this has to be a game. So are you picking God of War?
I'm picking Bear McCreary style, like Battlestar Galactica.
No, but it has to be a game.
Well, that's not a game.
Technically it is.
No.
No, it's not. It was a show, then a game. That's not going to count. Gotta be a game.
Then God of War. No, actually, I forgot. There's one more game he made, and it was called. It was based on a TV show, and they turned it into a game. Yeah, God of War. Then I'm just going God of War. God of War. Fuck it, God of War. Fuck you.
You should have picked something better, like Expedition 33.
I know you beat me to it, you piece of shit. Sam.
Music. Halo 2.
So Martin O'Donnell.
That's a good fucking pick.
Yeah,
That's a good
shout,
fucking pick.
shout.
That like fits the universe. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of.
Yeah,
Man,
I think Bear McCreary works.
I feel like Nicole and I are building a Star Wars game that's very much for us
Yeah.
as individuals. And Sam's like, what if I just made the best Star Wars game of all time?
Yeah.
The one that's the most exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so my last pick, I have graphics. You guys haven't locked in story yet,
I've
so
got
that's
mine
very
locked in.
interesting. But my last pick, I have graphics. What would make my perfect Star Wars game? I have a story from Mass Effect. Got the gameplay from my favorite combat system of all time. Got the best music ever, made by a developer that can't miss. All it needs is a great art style to bring it all together. I think I'm going to select Breath of
Okay.
the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. All right, sure.
Yeah, give me that give me that color, give me the cell shaded, give me the pretty world, give me all that. Give me all that.
Disagrees.
My story.
I'll take it.
My story is Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, you just made the worst
Okay.
Star Wars game of all time.
Yep. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Trust me, I'll make it
Okay.
work.
I got a story left. My
make it work.
story is Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, you ruined
No,
it. at the end.
disagree.
You ruined it.
Yeah, fuck
ruined
you.
it.
Fuck you.
I get what you're going for, though. I get what you're going with, like the honor, the dishonor, dark, light, like that kind of thing. I get what you're going for.
We're done?
All right,
I think this is cool.
those are our perfect Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Look,
Perfect for
if
me.
if I got this game,
Yeah.
this game, I would be, even if I just got a Mass Effect like style story in Star Wars
KOTOR.
with Rebirth gameplay
Yeah.
or something, I'm fucking there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's KOTOR. It's
Did you
KOTOR,
just
but
make
like
KOTOR?
better. You know?
Yeah.
I did just
I'm
make
quite
KOTOR,
happy
I
with
guess.
mine.
That's true.
I combined some of my like the immersive sim style things that I love about gaming, and then I just slapped one of my favorite stories in. It would be Bioshock Infinite adjacent. It would be like in that realm of that, and just slightly less interdimensional hopping between realities, because that would be too messy for Star Wars. But like there's something in there. Maybe they jump to the midichlorian realm. Fucking get.
I'm not gonna lie. Sam's
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
I think Sam's is okay.
Sam's incredible.
I think
You're
Sam's
full of shit.
Come on.
Are yours again?
Like, okay, Ghost of Tsushima is the worst option he put on there, but Devil May Cry 5 has an incredible combat system that'd be like playing as if you played as a Jedi,
Yeah.
and the combos you could do with like the lightsaber and force powers, that'd be sick. Okami's beautiful. Halo 2 is a perfect soundtrack for Star
I
Wars.
felt that was kinda
like,
cheap. That's
I think
the
the
only
only
reason I didn't go
the
Halo,
only
so it felt
questionable
cheap.
one here is like Ninja Theory, because I'm like, I don't know if they like you're kind of like, because with they're the ones who did Hellblade,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, Hellblade 1 people like, Hellblade 2 people were
Wait,
kind of
wait,
more
wait.
mixed
Who-
on.
Didn't they do Ninja Gaiden? Or have I just fucked up?
No, yes.
No, that's Team
Team
Ninja. That's
not
Team
Ninja
Ninja.
Theory. Ninja Theory is Cambridge.
Whoops. Whoops.
Well, you're locked in now.
Oops. Has been the Teabagged
Hooray.
show podcast. Are
We
we
don't,
calling it
we
a
don't
No,
know yet.
that has been
Teabag?
teabag.
This
That
has been
teabagged.
Teabagged. This has been Teabagged.
Yeah.
So cheers to everyone. Hope you
Thank
enjoyed
you.
this episode. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
on the next one. Cheers.